coming to you live from wherever. It's the Ticket Booth Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's edition of the Ticket Booth Podcast. I'm Brian Bevingston, that guy who got blocked by tons of people on Twitter. Who do we got here?
I'm Jeff Movie Man. I am the editor who sucks at his job because I never get these episodes edited on time. And please forgive me.
Bro, your editing's so good, though.
Yeah, editing takes time. Yeah. I do it professionally.
I know. Yeah.
He does all kinds of shit professionally. Anyway, my name is George, a.k.a. that guy who is blocked by Scientology. The only film Twitter person to be blocked by Scientology.
Fucking lucky.
My name is Amanda, and I don't think I've been on this podcast since before I came out as trans.
So, yeah. So a lot's changed since...
yes.
Yep.
And also because the schedule of this podcast is absolute garbage. So, I mean, our last episode was a couple weeks ago. So, yeah. Anyway. We got another person on here.
It's okay. I'm so quiet. I'm sorry. I had to mute myself for a second.
It's all good.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm user Jessica Roth on Letterboxd if you want to find me.
Oh, yeah. You're a Jessica Roth fan?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Jeff is a huge Jessica Roth stan.
Well, I mean, I was technically in a movie with her.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
I was an extra in the Happy Death Day movies.
Shut up.
No,
amazing.
Really.
That's so cool.
It was so much fun.
I fell in love with her because of the Happy Death Day movies.
Yeah,
I did because of La La Land, even though she wasn't.
Oh yeah, she wasn't very short.
Yeah, but we could talk about how much I adore Jessica Roth another time. So let's get on with the show.
We should make a spin-off podcast. It's just nothing but Jessica Roth talk.
Yes.
I barely have any idea of who you're talking about.
Everyone in the comments, like the 5 people who listen to this, let us know if you want us to make a Jessica Roth cast.
One of the comments will be me.
Yes. Okay, so are you guys ready to get into today's topics?
Sure.
Yes, indeed.
So the first one is a movie we've all seen, so there's sure to be some nice commentary. It's the new Quentin Tarantino film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
All right, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a film directed by Quentin Tarantino and stars Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie. I can't do this fucking voice.
I was about to be like, what are you doing?
What were you trying to do?
I was trying to imitate that film critic guy who always gets on like Fox News or something and talks with a with that really suave infomercial type voice or something.
Lights, Camera, Jackson?
Dennis Villeneuve.
We need to have him on the podcast. Fucking Lights, Camera, Jackson.
Okay. Anyway, so Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is a film by Quentin Tarantino. It was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. Well, it was my second most anticipated movie of the year behind The Irishman. I can't wait. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I was really expecting it to be in like my top 5 of the year. And when I watched it, I was like, okay, this is really great. I don't know if it's as great as I thought it was going to be. I mean, I really enjoyed the movie overall. Like, I thought it was wildly entertaining throughout. You know, Leo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, they're all fantastic in it. I especially love Brad Pitt's character in this movie. I think he's the best character in the film. I also really love the whole commentary on Hollywood and how Hollywood treats washed up actors or something. Yeah. It's been done before, but I like the approach that this movie took with it. Obviously, you know, it's well shot. It's got some great production and costume design. I mean, that's kind of Tarantino's shtick. I mean, all the other performances are great too. Like, who else is even in it? There's like...
Oh, it's a stacked cast. It's got like... Margot Qualley, Timothy Olyphant, Dakota Fanning, Bruce Dern.
Mm-hmm.
Luke
Bruce
Perry, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Oh, yeah, Al Pacino.
Yeah, I mean, one thing to really think about is how like Leo and Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie are pretty much the real 3 main characters in this movie. Everyone else is like not in the movie for that long.
I was also about to say that Maya Hawke is actually in this.
So we also
She is. Yeah, she's like at the very end.
She was the girl who drove off.
Okay.
Edit that out because that's a spoiler.
I mean, yeah. Sharon Tate dies. Spoiler alert.
What?
Oh my god!
Jesus. But yeah, I mean, this is really a standard Quentin Tarantino film. I heard some people say, "Oh, this is not like any other Quentin Tarantino movie." I'm like, I beg to differ on that one. I suppose, yeah, is it in the case that he's ever really made a movie about Hollywood? Sure, but I mean, Pulp Fiction is set in Hollywood, so that's kind of a moot point. I mean, either way, he does some unique things that he's never done, kind of in the way that he structures with his characters and things like that. Some of these characters, especially like the little girl actress character in the movie, he's never written a character like that before. And I'll be honest, I was expecting more of Charlie Manson in this movie.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
But,
Rude.
One of my favorite parts of the movie, is the Bruce Lee scene, which is, a lot of people, like his daughter said, "Oh, this is just an offensive portrayal of him. He's not this arrogant." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
well, okay.
Well, regardless of the portrayal itself, can we just say the guy who portrayed him is spot fucking on?
exactly. Also, the
Like
thing
it's like they brought him back from the dead or something because he's like exact.
Yeah.
Like one thing I want to say about that scene is that I mean, I don't know how offensive you could consider it because I mean, it is a dream sequence. So what I interpreted it as is that maybe
Was it?
Cliff Booth. Well, yeah, you don't
It was
remember it was a dream sequence.
I thought it
but
was like a flashback.
Yeah, it's a
well,
flashback.
or something like that. Maybe it was probably how Cliff views Bruce Lee in his mind as
Yeah.
he just sees him as arrogant and stuff like that. Maybe that was the case. I mean, that's what I'm assuming.
Actually,
maybe.
I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he was talking about this with one of his guests. I forget who, but he was like, apparently he said it was apparently based on something with a real stunt double on Green Hornet.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, apparently. I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm just throwing that out there. Either way, I mean, the movie's fiction, so you can't really argue that it's that disrespectful if it's fiction. If it were based on a real story, the criticism would be totally valid.
Well, I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of twists what actually happened.
More or less, yeah.
The same sort of thing Tarantino did with Inglourious Bastards.
More or less, yeah.
He still doesn't get the credit he deserves for that. He fucking shot Hitler in the face.
Yes.
Epic. This movie is not perfect. There are some scenes in this movie, particularly in the second act, that kind of drag.
Yeah.
And I mean, they really drag. Some the scenes where Sharon Tate is in the movie theater watching a movie that she's in. I forgot what the movie's called.
I think it's The Wrecking Crew. It's The Wrecking Crew. It's with Dean Martin.
Yeah, Dean Martin. That scene, it went on for so fucking long.
I don't know. I love that scene.
I really like that scene, but
I did
kind
like
of
that
did.
scene.
It goes on for a long time.
I mean, I liked how it kind of showed how much fun she was having watching her own movie and kind of seeing how people in Hollywood get passionate about their own creations. That's kind of how I viewed it. Yeah.
Well,
I was gonna say because that scene in that film, The Wrecking Crew, it made me watch it after I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I wanted to see.
I saw that on your Letterboxd.
Yeah, it influenced me. So I was like, oh, cool.
It's a good scene, but it's it just kind of goes on for a little too long. And there's some scenes where Brad Pitt is kind of stalking Margaret Qualley's character, and they go on for a while. It's like, okay, dude, we get it. You're attracted to her. You think she's hot. Okay, move on.
Well, I mean, if it weren't for those scenes, we probably wouldn't have gotten how the Manson plot tied into the central story, because that's really how they go down.
Yeah, but it's not like they could have trimmed the fat off a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I understand. I get that.
Or maybe even have one of the scenes cut out altogether.
I mean, even then, it was only 2 scenes, pretty much.
Some of this movie kind of really drags a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some of it goes on for a little long. And then I suppose the other real main issue with this movie is that some of the characters were underutilized. Sharon Tate's group of friends, Emil Hirsch, we barely even saw them in the movie, and yet they too were killed by the Manson family. It's well, I would have liked to know more about those people. Not
but I think
Sharon Tate.
Yeah, but I think it was Tarantino. Those are important elements to the story, but I think Tarantino really wanted to focus on Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth, really, And the whole Sharon Tate and Manson thing was like a backdrop to it all.
I understand that, but I still would have liked to know more about the characters. And
yeah, I get that.
His portrayal of Sharon Tate is very tasteful, too. Unlike another film about Sharon Tate.
We were bound to bring that one up.
It begins.
Starring a Disney Channel actress who acts like she's in a... Yeah, who acts like she's in a fucking porno. And it's just so offensive. Compared to all that, this movie is very tasteful. And I did overall really enjoy the movie. I will definitely watch it again, possibly in theaters. It's not quite as good as the other Tarantinos I've seen. Well, I mean, it's better than Hateful Eight and also Jackie Brown and Death Proof. But compared to Pulp Fiction and Glorious Bastards, Kill Bill, it's just not as good. So yeah, solid, like 8 out of 10. Really solid, great movie.
I'm a big fan of Tarantino's work, so of course I was looking forward to this movie. And I love the cast. I love the subject matter. I love sort of retro throwbacks like this. So this is like sort of right in my wheelhouse. So I saw it, and I like it a lot. I don't think it's among Tarantino's best work, but it's not to say it's bad. I think it's just like in the middle, although maybe it would improve on a rewatch. But yeah, I love the cast. I love DiCaprio and Pitt. I love their chemistry. I love how their friendship is done over the course of the film. I love the way they play off each other, and I love these two work together more because they're great together. And like I said, I think a lot of the cast was great, but I think many of them were underused. Like Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, she was great, but I feel like she was really underutilized. Like I feel like she didn't get a whole lot to do. I understand, like her whole thing is like more of like the backdrop to everything, but still, it would have been nice to have her screen time or more dialogue or whatever. But hey, what they do have is pretty darn good. My main complaint is the pacing. I feel like you could have easily cut like maybe 20 or 30 minutes off this movie and not really lost too much, because like there's some scenes where like a lot of the stuff where Brad Pitt is just driving around Hollywood and stuff, it feels like at times I'm watching an assembly cut of a movie that hasn't had the fat trimmed off of it yet. Yeah, and it just kind of meanders at times, and I'm wondering, okay, well, where are we going with this? Is this going to go anywhere? But when it really has energy, it's really entertaining. And as for the way it ends, I kind of had a feeling that was how Tarantino would approach it, because, I mean, knowing how he did the thing with Inglourious Bastards, I didn't think he would glorify or, like, do an extravagant, like, creation of, like, the actual murder. I didn't think he would actually portray it as it happened, because, like, that would just be sort of overly sensational and unpleasant to see. And I think what he was trying to do was just, like, sort of an angry reaction to that even happening. And I think that's probably connects to why there's so little of Charles Manson himself in the movie. I mean, he's only like in one really short scene. Like the screen time he has in the trailer, that's pretty much as much screen time he has in the movie. Honestly, I think it's nice that the whole Manson thing is not really given a primary focus, because, and the way the Manson clan or the Manson family is all portrayed, they're portrayed like pathetic losers, because that's what they are. They're pathetic
backwoods.
Yeah. They're horrible. And the finale of it all was just really entertaining to watch, especially when it went really balls to the wall insane. Like that latter half of the part of the movie is where Brad Pitt, that's some of the funniest I've seen from Brad Pitt. Like when he does the acid cigarette and he's baked out of his mind. Like that is just hilarious. Yeah. But yeah, I really liked the movie. I wouldn't have minded if it had been a bit shorter, but I think it would improve on rewatch. And yeah, I think it's a really satisfying movie. So yeah, I'd say 8 out of 10.
Yeah. So yeah, this was my first Quentin Tarantino film in the cinema. And I will say something really funny though, but when I went in obviously early in the morning, because one, the ticket pricing is much cheaper, and two, I was with a bunch of older people. So someone in our theater had decided to go and tell like one of the staff workers to turn down the volume. So I was in the back seat of Once Upon a Time trying to hear the film, and I was like, there's no way that Quentin Tarantino made this film so quiet that I couldn't understand what Leonardo DiCaprio was saying. There's no way. I had to get up and I was like, can someone turn up this volume in this theater? Because I am like in the back row and I can't hear anything. So then when that got situated, everything was fine. But overall with the film, I enjoyed it a lot. Even though I was like the youngest person to see it with a bunch of older people, I liked it. I guess for my first Quentin film in the theater, it was enjoyable. I mean, I do understand and I kind of agree, like after having some time to like allow myself to like allow the movie to like sit, that it was quite long and there were some particular scenes like I love the Sharon scene where she was in the theater, but in a way it was kind of long, a little bit too long. I did like how he included Sharon's original film whenever Margot was in the theater, which was nice because then I was able to actually go and see what this film was, even though I didn't particularly like it, but that's a different topic. I like the relationship or friendship between Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio's character. It was interesting to see that. And I think that's one thing that I've noticed a lot with his films is that Quentin works really well with like developing friendships and has them like carry on through the film. Like as we saw like towards the very end, like when I went in, I had no idea that the ending was ever going to be like that. But when I was reading through Letterboxd and seeing some people's reviews, they were kind of happy that the ending was the way that Quentin finished it because it was in a way like justice to Sharon, even though really, as we all know, she died. So I was expecting when I went in there to see something very like gory, because we all know what Tarantino is as a director. Like he has quite gory films. If you've ever seen like Inglourious Bastards or like Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill, like we know. We all know, and I was expecting something like that. So when I didn't, and I just saw that ending, and then I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood like appear on the screen, I was like, oh my God, like this is it?
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
I was a little bit unsatisfied by that. But then in a way, like, I guess I was like, okay, maybe that's how he finished and like imagined it. So I was like, I'll just take it and go with it. I think if I were to see the film again, I would most likely enjoy it. I mean, I did give it quite a high rating on Letterboxd because it was my first film, so like I was very like excited for it. I enjoyed it, and I know that the famous Tarantino part when he was at Cannes Film Festival where he like didn't have as much Sharon. You know, I would have loved to have seen more of her, but I know that with Tarantino as a director, he doesn't necessarily like build up his female characters to have much screen time. So I would have liked to see more of it to see what he could have done more with including Margot for the film, because I know that there's a lot of conversation that people think she should be nominated, and I just love her as an actress, but as I sat and like thought about it, there wasn't much she did to make it like an outstanding performance for like an Oscar nomination, in my opinion. Even though she was playing Sharon Tate, I just don't think it was enough to get that recognition.
She did a great job, but like, I mean, I can see her getting a nomination, but if she won, that'd be a different story.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
she probably.
I don't know if she'd get a nomination, honestly.
She could, but
she could, right?
I don't think she'll. I don't think she'll win. She won't win.
Oh, she won't win.
I don't know. It was an enjoyable film. It was one of the films that I was excited to see since I was on vacation. So then it released when I was on vacation. So I came back home and I was excited, but it was enjoyable. I don't have anything else to say because I'm stumbling over my words.
First things first, I'm very disappointed there wasn't a post-credit scenes where Roman Polanski goes to a swimming pool and starts committing a federal crime.
Oh, good lord.
I've been playing...
Bad joke.
Oh, day.
I thought you were gonna say where fucking Charles Manson just straight up goes on a rampage and just kills Lena Dunham and Roman Polanski.
Yeah. Fuck Lena Dunham.
Listen. If I wrote the movie, that's what would have happened.
Alright, but seriously, I was really looking forward to seeing this because it was one of my most hyped films of the year, and in an odd coincidence, I actually ended up seeing the film on the 50th anniversary of the real life Sharon Tate murders because I saw the film on the 9th, which was a little over a week ago, and the night of August, and it was around midnight on August 9th, 1969, where the real life murders happened. So that's an odd coincidence. But anyways, I really love this film. I haven't seen much from this year because I don't really go to the theater that often because of money issues and shit.
The only movies you've seen from this year are Booksmart, Endgame.
Booksmart, Endgame, Rocketman, and
Lego Movie 2?
Hollywood.
Yeah,
What?
Lego Movie 2.
Yeah, that too. I keep forgetting that. But anyways, I enjoyed my time in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like you guys have stated, I would have preferred it if some scenes were taken out and maybe the ending a bit edited, but those are just minor problems, and I still really loved the movie. I definitely prefer Hateful Eight and Pulp Fiction, but I still really loved Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I really need to see more Tarantino's work.
Tarantino.
Yeah, that's all I really had to say about it.
Me and Tarantino have an interesting history. Basically, Pulp Fiction was the first. I loved movies beforehand, but like Pulp Fiction was like the first big movie I saw, that made me just want to research films more. Just gave me my straight up obsession for films. Because I'd been watching a lot of like movie critics before that, like Chris Stuckman and others. And then I started watching a bunch of films that I'd heard about from them. Some classics that I hadn't heard about at the time because I was a normie. And then I watched Pulp Fiction, and I was amazed, and it was my favorite movie of all time for a while. And then I got more into his work, so he was pretty much the first big director I started really paying attention to a few years ago. And then years later, he's got a new movie coming, and then I was like, whoa, I'm excited for this. Especially with the idea, because I love the idea. A movie about like how the Manson murders were involved with Hollywood. Like, I love that idea. And then the movie came out, and then I saw it in theaters with my brother, and I really love this movie. It's in my top 10 of the year. I don't know about top 5, but definitely top 10. But who knows? With all the stuff coming, who knows if it's even going to stick there? But then again, who knows if anything's going to stick there? Because we got a lot of movies coming this year.
Yeah.
The Lighthouse, Queen and Slim, Hidden Life. All those.
Hidden Life, fuck yeah.
Yes, Jojo Rabbit.
The Irishman.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm. I'm seeing Blinded by the Light tomorrow. I'm assuming that'll make my top 10.
Epic.
Oh, I want to see that one.
Yeah.
My mom wants to see it.
Jeff just saw it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was really good. We'll get to that later.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I've said Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that these people didn't already say, but I mean, that being said, I did really love it. I don't really know if I 100% agree with you guys saying that like it should be trimmed down, because honestly, I thought the runtime was justified. Though I could understand why you.
I didn't feel the length at all.
Because
I
it feels
agree
like
on that.
it feels
Yeah,
like
for me, the length was only a minor problem. Like, it could have been a bit shorter, but didn't. But
what I mean by that is, it felt its length, but it wasn't boring.
Yeah, because like
Yeah,
Tarantino, like it seems like Tarantino has a formula to making like 3-hour films fly by like that. Like he gets a plot, he gets characters, he knows how to make it engaging, he knows how to draw you in and just have you sit there for 3 hours and be engaged. And like you're like, what? That was 3 hours and that flew like that? What? Like this movie did not feel 3 hours at all, really. This movie felt like an hour and a half at the fucking most. And
it felt more like 2 hours.
Like, and the real thing is that like I didn't feel really any of the scenes drag. I could understand why you guys said that with how you, because like some scenes in there really do kind of meander. Some of them do just kind of come out of nowhere and really not much is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like that whole 5-minute sequence where Brad Pitt's just driving around Hollywood. I mean, I love the aesthetic of that scene. But one thing I love about this movie is that like this movie allows you to connect with the characters so much and just automatically grab onto them to where scenes like that will just be automatically entertaining. Like they could just make them do like the simplest things and you'll love it just because you love these characters and you want to see them go anywhere. Like, you know what I mean? And I also love the plot of the washed up actor trying to regain his glory. And I don't want to spoil where that leads to, but where it does go, well, I mean, you could probably assume because they kind of showed it in the trailer. I loved where that went. I loved all like everything going on in the plot. And I loved how this movie felt a lot more kind of like a story that just so happens to take place around the time of the Manson murders. And it feels like the 60s aesthetic works completely. And it's really, I love the aesthetic of the 60s and a lot of 60s movies. And this movie not only has a 60s aesthetic, but it also feels like a movie that was made in the 60s, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, between the use of, like old film grain, well, not really, but, I mean, like, you get what I mean? Like, it looks a lot like a 60s movie. Like, the characters talk like they were from the 60s. Because that's one thing I really like to see in movies, is when a movie takes place in a certain time period. I like it to be completely accurate, pretty much. And
and that's one thing that Tarantino does really well with his films, is like when he does a certain era, he makes it feel like you're in that era with the cast or like the film.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I know this has more to do with the music itself than the film itself, but that being said, Tarantino made some excellent music choices for this film.
Yeah.
And all the songs are
yeah.
used amazingly. I'm listening to the soundtrack on repeat because, like, God, there's some solid music in there.
Yeah.
And also, one thing in the soundtrack is how Tarantino actually, like, if you listen to the soundtrack on like Spotify or Amazon Music, like, they actually have like little like some of the commercials from the radio that they made up in the movie. Like, it's stuff like that, like little things made for the movie. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, little things like that are always really fun.
And also
Easter eggs, yeah.
And listening to it on Amazon Music, on some of the songs, like on Mrs. Robinson, they even put like a little like radio opening on it. Like little things like that. I just like how much effort was really put into every little detail.
Yeah.
And it really goes to show how like Tarantino like made this world in the 60s, and he knew what he was doing. I loved how all the songs were using it, and I also, like I said, I never felt bored. In fact, I was actually engaged pretty much the entire time. But even then, a lot of the scenes, pretty much, you could find something new. Like, even to some people, the scene in the movie theater can be like just kind of like a simple scene that goes on for a while. But I personally just like found them showing how like artists can appreciate their craft, but teach their own. And one little thing I want to bring up is that when I saw this movie with my brother, he thought that the little girl in the movie was playing Jodie Foster.
Really?
Which, I mean, is an interesting theory. I mean, I actually looked it up, and the movie takes place when Jodie Foster was that age. So, what if Tarantino attended that? I mean, I don't know if he did, but
I don't think so.
She was 12. Wait, no, she was 12 when Taxi Driver came out.
That was 1975, though. So I mean,
76.
Whatever, I forgot specifically.
She was 12 when they shot that movie. They actually had to have her sister act as a stunt double.
Well, to be fair, my brother's a normie, so maybe probably doesn't know enough about older film.
Yeah.
No offense to him, but still, all the acting's terrific. And one thing is that, like, usually when actors are only in like one scene, like, usually you could say it's just like wasting the actors, and even you guys said it's kind of underusing some of the characters, and I can see that. But at the same time, the characters are, all the other ones are so fun that like you're satisfied with their screen presence. But even then, some of them you could probably be like, I want more. But like, I was expecting Bruce Stern to only be in that one scene, but still, all these characters in the movie that they made were just a lot of fun. And like, this movie is just the definition of fun, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a good way of describing it.
Yeah. And, you know, it has a lot to say about Hollywood, and it even has like a little Me Too related thing with the Cliff Booth accused of killing his wife thing.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of say it's like a little thing that they added in to kind of be like, and one thing I love about that is like, it's not even like a big thing, just kind of like a little thing that you're able to think about for yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it does, like, but I don't know. If there was one character that was like a little underused that I probably would have liked to probably see a little more of, maybe I would have liked to see a little bit more of Kurt Russell's character.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Well, maybe because I just fucking love Kurt Russell.
I mean, how can you not?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you don't love Kurt Russell, you have no soul. Excuse me. Let me get some water.
There are two kinds of people: the people who love Kurt Russell and people who are wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He also played the best MCU villain. So also nice to see Dakota Fanning doing some more work.
Yeah. Her sister's been getting all the glory.
That's what I was about to say. Like, usually nowadays her sister's really getting all the work, and Dakota Fanning was like the next big thing back in like 2005. So nice to see her doing some more work. The ending is probably my favorite ending of the whole year. Well, I need to think about that, but it's up there. It's so different from the rest of the movie, kind of, in a way, yet also feels like it's just styled differently, but it's still in the same vein. And it's such a big fuck you to Charles Manson that, oh my god, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And when a certain moment involving a pool and a flamethrower happened,
Oh,
I was
hell
like,
yeah.
oh my
Oh,
god.
that was dope.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Epic.
But yeah, that was just awesome. And then the ambiguous end, like I love ambiguous endings, like the kind that give you enough to where you feel satisfied, but a little enough to where you're left thinking about it after a while. Like I
Mhm.
love endings like that. But at the same time, with how it was done, like I was probably like many expecting there to be like a lot more like showing the Manson murders and stuff like that. But
Yep.
at the same time, maybe like some like I don't know, like the movie showed enough in my opinion. And like I liked how the two plots just like tied in together. Like I said, just had such a well done, engaging story, and the characters were so much fun, and the writing was so much fun. The humor worked. I was laughing a lot. Yeah, I don't really have too many flaws. Other than I probably feel it's maybe one of Tarantino's weakest, but maybe that I could probably feel a different way on my second watch. I think the only reason why Feud is like probably one of his weakest is just because I probably was expecting a little bit more when I first saw it. I think maybe on rewatch I might bump up my rating from an 8 to a 9, but only time will tell. As for now, it's an 8 out of 10. I really loved it. Go see it if you haven't. It's really great, and it's definitely one of the best movies you'll see this year so far.
Yeah.
So next movie, The Farewell.
I just want to mention a cool fact about The Farewell. The
What?
director of The Farewell is dating Barry Jenkins.
Wait, what?
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 Holy
Yes.
shit!
I just
that
found
is-
out today.
That is awesome. Holy
Oh
shit!
Yes.
my god.
Oh, they must be a cute couple. Well, the thing is, that is like the most blessed couple idea I've ever heard in my life. Like they're both insanely talented.
Yeah.
It's just like
sick.
I want them to direct a movie together.
They're so
Holy
cute
fuck!
together.
I know.
Yeah,
Let me look.
such
Actually,
a cute couple.
so this is a movie I was really hyped for, and it completely lived up. I mean, I guess simple as that. But I have a lot to say. This movie is like, well, it's insanely emotional, and in a way that completely worked for one. The performances are all terrific, and what surprised me is that like a lot of I think I saw like not a lot of the people in this movie were in movies beforehand, but one I do know is the grandma, who has never acted before, and she is phenomenal.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
yeah.
amazing.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Incredible.
And like, yeah, so that surprised me for one. And second, Aquafina, like, I'm glad she, like, every comedic actor or actress does serious work at some point, and I'm glad that she's shown her range already.
yeah.
I want to see her do more movies like this. And it's weird how
Yes,
she's going.
because she's fantastic.
It's weird how she's going
so
from this.
good.
She's going from this to Angry Birds 2 in like
Ah,
within, like 2 weeks.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
Oh.
I hear that's surprisingly
Range.
good. So
I doubt that, but okay.
Reviews are rigged.
I'll watch it for her. I'm a stan. Okay, that's what stans do. They put themselves through movie. They put themselves through movie hell in order to.
So are you gonna watch Rough Night for Bo Burnham and Eric Andre?
I'm surprised they haven't yet. I see. I need to watch the movie because like that's such a blessed combination. Bo Burnham and Eric Andre in the same movie. Like, how is this not Frayed
The same
5.0?
scene. The
Like,
same
why
scene.
exactly? Like, how is this not the highest rated movie on Letterboxd?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the performances are all amazing. The directing's really great. I think Lil Wayne has a great career ahead of her. The directing in this movie, there's a lot of really great like wide shots and a lot of nice little directing. And this year we've had a lot of great movies directed by women, and a lot of and two of them are up and comers. I mean, Claire Denis has directed a lot of movies beforehand, but Olivia Wilde and Lil Wayne got careers ahead of them.
Yup.
yes, definitely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what else? Writing's really good, and the story's really engaging, and it's insanely well done, and it's also pretty uplifting at times, but in a way that works well enough with the emotional stuff to where it feels very, very natural.
Balanced.
Yeah, very, very balanced. One thing that makes performances that much perfect is how you can tell every single emotion. Like, I love performances that are very subtle, like to where you can tell all the emotions the characters are feeling just by looking at them.
Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the thing about these characters is that like you know that they know the truth, and you know the grandma doesn't. So you're seeing them just wait, shit.
That's literally the plot of the movie.
Well,
It's
Okay.
okay. It's implied.
well, actually, yeah, it's kind of hard to watch away because of how sad it is at times. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know how much else I want to say because I don't want to spoil. But I mean, at the same time, like, the cinematography is real.
Spoilers, but
The cinematography is really nice. The aesthetic of China is really nice as well. This is a movie that's easy to connect with, especially if you've been in a situation like this. And this is a movie that would not work if it wasn't about Chinese people, because it's especially about Chinese culture.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And also, the ending will also make you cry insanely.
Oh.
Yep,
Yeah.
it certainly indeed will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Brian, I thought you didn't cry. I thought someone just left onions in your feeder. That's what your review said.
Yeah. I had the weirdest experience ever. Some dude brought a bowl of onions. I didn't smell or see it, but my eyes started watering at the end. Weird, huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird. Why would they just let in outside food like that? That's
Yeah.
weird.
I know, it's such a stupid joke,
Wait,
but I don't know.
fucking onions to the fucking feeder.
That'd be funny too. If, like, people bring snacks, they bring like a bag of Cheetos or something. But then I just see some dude behind me with like a big old bowl of onions. I mean, I'm like, oh, okay, dude, glad you're living on the healthy life, but damn, man, that's odd.
Okay,
I
this
think-
joke is over.
Yeah, it's a really great movie, really well done, really emotionally impactful, and a lot of great scenes that'll stick with you. And I connected a lot with it, and God, it broke my heart. So, 8 out of 10. I did have some light flaws with it. I can't really explain because, like I said, they'll be going to a bit of spoiler territory. But yeah, but it's really, really great. Go see it. 8 out of 10.
The farewell. Let's just say that our boy Mark, aka Crimes, rest in peace. Actually, he's not dead. He's just not.
Yeah,
on
I was about to be like, dude, you probably should say that because people are probably actually gonna think that he's dead.
No, Mark. Yeah,
We really wanted him to be on this episode, but he couldn't make it.
That gives Marcus over party a new meaning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag Crimes is over.
Yeah, spread the hashtag in the comments, folks.
Yeah. Mark
We'll
said
get
some
5 more
no-nos.
people to get to, we'll get 5 entire more people to do it.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Mark is kind of obsessed with this movie. He talked about it on the last episode briefly during our first time watches thing. And he really made me want to see it. I was trying to see it for a whole week, but then like I either couldn't go because my dad was busy, or because the theater caught on fire and they had to close for a couple days to repair it. And then I finally went and saw it like the other day, and let me just say that out of all my top 5 films of the year, 3 of them are directed by women, and The Farewell is one of them. Holy shit, this movie is awesome.
Yeah.
Aquafina, spectacular. She is insanely good, and so is the grandmother actress who never acted before, kind of like Yalitza in Roma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's also great. My favorite scenes in the movie were actually the scenes between the grandmother and Aquafina, or Billy. And it's a very heartfelt, funny movie at times. It's insanely well written. It's really well shot. It goes by really, really quickly. And there's a lot of really great emotional scenes, not just with the grandmother, but also with some of the other family members, including the mother character. Where she says like, she's dying. Can you be a little more sensitive? That scene was just like teary-eyed. The ending, without spoiling it, is maybe like the saddest ending of the year thus far. That's not. I guess that's not saying much because there's a lot of films that are not really that sad, especially films that attempt to be sad but aren't. And also, I think basically everything that Brian said, I concur with. It's just a fantastic fucking movie. And also the fact that a film with an all Asian cast getting this much recognition amongst mainstream moviegoers is awesome.
Yeah, and actually, and also the thing was that like when I went to see this movie, there seemed to be a lot of people who were going to see it, and that gave me hope that hopefully this movie will make more money than, or the amount of money that it deserves. Which, well, the amount of money it deserves is a lot more than it probably will make. I would love this movie to make like $100 million, but that probably won't happen. The highest grossing A24 movie is Hereditary, and that made around that much, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's still nice to see a film with a cast like this be this popular. Yeah, the ending is fantastic, and this movie just gives you a lot of emotions. And quite honestly, I really can't pinpoint any flaws other than like the music. And I'm talking like the score. It was
Beautiful.
it wasn't bad, but it felt like it wasn't really. It felt underwhelming, or I don't know, not underwhelming, but like it wasn't as good as it could have been.
I don't know. I love the music in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's still decent, a decent score. It's just I just didn't feel like the chord progressions and instrumentation weren't as good as they could have been. Again, I'm a musician. I know what I'm talking about. Not to be a pretentious cock, but yeah, 9 out of 10. Go see it instead of Hobbs and Shaw.
Or
Too late.
go see it instead of The Lion King for sure.
Oh
God.
Sprite Cranberry Lion King.
The Box Red Cream Soda Lion King.
That's an insult to Sprite Cranberry, actually.
Sprite Cranberry tastes like ass.
You taste
No,
like
it doesn't.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
That was bad.
Okay, so yeah, like everyone else, I was really looking forward to this movie because watching the trailer, it just looked so fantastic. And with all the buzz I heard about it, I just couldn't resist. So I went and saw it, and it's just so good. Like a lot of, I mean, I don't know what I can say that hasn't already been said, but it's just fantastic. Like you guys said, Awkwafina is outstanding in this movie. Like I knew she was great in comedic roles, like in Crazy Rich Asians. Like she was a real scene stealer in that.
She was the best part of that movie by far.
Oh yeah, I assume so. But like, I liked her before this movie, which like I've heard some people say like before this movie they couldn't stand her, which I don't really see because like I mean, like I really thought she was funny and a very talented woman, but like I was waiting for her to get the right work. Before this, she wasn't really doing well. She was only in like mainstream comedies, as like kind of like a small role. Like apparently she was in Neighbors too. I don't fucking remember who she was in that.
Well, so was Beanie Feldstein.
No, I remember who she was in that, but I don't know where the fuck Awkwafina was in that movie. I would say I want to watch Neighbors 2 again, but that movie is not the greatest. But I mean, I kind of want to watch again and be like, oh, this person's in there. Oh, that person's in there. Oh, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So anyway, the balance between being heartwarming and heartbreaking was just really well done. Like it just balances it perfectly, and it's such a sweet movie. Watching this family going through all these troubles, and I don't know how to put it into words, but I loved this movie, and it's absolutely fantastic, and I think you all need to go see it right away. So yeah, 9 out of 10.
So yeah, that concludes our talk of The Farewell, which is a great film. Please go see it and support it. We need more movies like this. One small flaw, which I mean, I don't want to hold against me because this is like a nitpick, but there is a scene with a rotating table, and like some people have brought this up, but like in the outer shots, the table wasn't moving, but in the close-up shots, the table is moving, so the continuity on that.
It took me a while to notice that table was even rotating.
Yeah, I mean, like it didn't distract me, but it did think it back in my head, like, wait, what's with this table?
But that's like a really flaw.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's a nitpick. It's definitely a nitpick.
Yeah,
it's probably could have been like easily fixed.
I didn't really notice.
No, I'm not gonna hold against the movie. Don't worry, I'm not YMS, so you know.
Yeah, you're not. Anyway,
this movie had a small background issue, so I'm giving it a 6 out of 10.
Speaking of YMS, Jeff and I are going to talk about a movie he should do a YMS review on, called Uglydolls.
Oh god.
Oh boy! I saw this shit in theater.
You were like, okay. Oh wait. Also, okay. I just want to say real quickly. If any of you know our boy Angel, he made a little meme of Uglydolls, the main character panting, and if you close your eyes, it sounds like she's moaning.
Almost there! Come on! Come on, guys! Come on! I guess not.
And that tweet got like 600 likes, And then I joked in the reply saying, the amount of people who like this tweet are more than the amount of people who saw this movie in theaters.
One
This
of them
movie-
was Jeff.
This movie bombed
Yes, I
hard.
saw this. Yeah, it bombed hard. I think STX, or as I call them, Sticks Entertainment, I don't think they're going to be around much longer because
It's sad.
they're in the gutter. Like, they're going through financial issues. They shelved that My Spy movie. They keep delaying Playmobil. The only good movie they seem to have coming in the coming time is 21 Bridges, which they've also delayed. But that's the only thing they have coming out that actually looks pretty decent.
I mean, I just want to say real quickly, the reason why this movie bombed is the main reason, it's easy to point to. This movie came out 1 week after Endgame, so you could tell that.
But that's kind
it's a
of
pretty
like
bad idea.
You could say the same about Detective Pikachu, which came out 2 weeks later.
No. Well, I mean, then again, Detective Pikachu made a lot more and it knew the right time. But then again, Missing Link came out 1 week before Endgame and it made even less than Uglydolls, which is sad because Missing Link is
blame
actually
Annapurna for that because they suck at marketing.
Yeah,
Missing Link-
Annapurna. I will never forgive them for what they did to Beale Street.
Missing
what
Link
they
was
did
actually
to
pretty good.
Booksmart was just the piss icing on the shit cake. Beale Street was what crossed the line.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad because I think every single movie Annapurna has distributed, I like in one way or the other. Wait, yeah, well, some of them I love.
They
like,
made some really great movies.
like
The problem is they do such a terrible job at getting people to see them.
They're like Fox Searchlight.
Fox Searchlight is better at it because here's the thing. Annapurna is way worse because not a single.
I agree, but
Fox Searchlight seems to be giving a lot of marketing to Ready or Not because Ready or Not's gonna usually Fox Searchlight movies take like a week or two to expand. Ready or Not's coming out just right away. It's gonna be every theater around me. So
and I hear it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, they know how to market, but they're just way more okay, we're gonna wait to see if this movie will make money before we just put it out there.
Brian,
I understand from a business perspective. What?
I'm checking Twitter on my laptop, and Jack says he's ready. You can be added.
Let me add him in.
Okay. Well, while Jack is adding him in. All right. So Jeff forced me to watch this movie and live tweet it.
No, I didn't. I just let me.
You suggested it.
I saw this first. I saw this in theaters. The only reason I even bothered to see this in theaters is because the antagonist is fucking hot.
So talking about Uglydolls, are we?
What a note for Jack to come in.
No. Lou, don't hate me for this. Lou looks exactly like Donald Trump. Okay.
Shut
No,
the fuck up.
No. Is this the Conan O'Brien looking motherfucker? Is this the Conan O'Brien looking motherfucker?
He does look like Conan. Oh my god.
Does.
I don't see Donald Trump. I just see this
I
guy.
don't either.
It's like a pop vinyl fucking Conan O'Brien.
He's just so.
Oh my god.
He's the most generic villain of all time.
What is this podcast?
So much charisma, and it's the best part of the movie.
His song.
If not for him, his song is the best scene in the film.
His song slaps. I'll say that. I'm sure the movie's complete ass, but his song
if
slaps.
If not for him, if it weren't for Lou,
not that great.
I would have bailed on this movie about 20 minutes in because
the song is the only song in the movie that's remotely consistent, where the beat
something you should know. George is a musician, so he knows a lot about this stuff.
Yeah.
Does he though?
Okay, so I'll take the opening song for example. The beat of the song is E flat. It's the key of E flat. It's high. But Kelly Clarkson's singing in B flat the entire song.
Nerd.
It is so infuriating. Oh my god. It was like I was listening to Chance the Rapper's new album. It was bad.
Anyway, but I do want to mention that Kelly Clarkson's character is hot as shit, and no one can deny that.
Terrifying. She's terrifying.
So are you, but I don't say anything.
Well, I know I'm terrifying. You don't have to tell me. Moxie is almost on the same level as the Teletubbies as terrifying.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, so I'm fucking researching this movie, and how did I only just find out there's a character who has the same fucking name as me?
Oh yeah, that's right. Wait, isn't that Janelle Monáe's character?
Yeah.
Mandy. Okay, why the fuck is she in this movie? Because I know. Okay,
I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. the only reason I'm assuming is because she's a musician, but at the same time, like
the whole cast is musicians.
She's also I know that.
Blake Shelton,
That's obvious. But the thing is, like, Janelle Monáe actually has a good filmography, and she's just like she was in Moonlight for Christ's sakes, and then she
was also in Rio 2 for some reason.
Oh no, never mind. I'm not shocked then. Damn.
Oh hell yeah, she was in Welcome to Marwin.
Oh yeah, that's right, she was. I forgot that. Okay,
Janelle Monáe's film career is like a bipolar mess. Like Rio 2, Moonlight, Hidden Figures, Welcome to Marwin, Uglydolls, Harriet, Lady and the Tramp. I mean, it's all over the place.
It's so bizarre. Like, here's the thing. Like, not only is it just being like, oh, why is an actor I like this movie? Like, I mean, like, some actors just, like, do stuff that, like, is probably...
For money.
Like the much. Well, yeah. Like, I mean, they're actors, of course. Like, Peter Dinklage was in Pixels, for Christ's sakes. But, like, at the same time...
yeah, exactly. I mean, there are plenty of actors that I adore that, like, do a great mix of, like, legitimately fantastic films and shitty B-grade.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, just look at the careers of John C. Reilly and Steve Buscemi.
What I'm saying.
Love those two, but my God... Like, they have such, like, ups and downs in their career.
My favorite actor of all time, John C. Reilly, is in a lot of shit.
Okay, Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman is my favorite actress, and she's an Aquaman.
I mean, to be fair, like, if I was paid, like, billions of dollars by DC, I don't care what they would want me to do. I'll show up. I will straight up be Aquaman for them if they give me the figures of Jason Momoa.
I could picture as Aquaman. Also, like, I mean, I wouldn't mind working with James Wan. I mean, he seems like a cool dude.
Yeah.
And also, one thing about Uglydolls I want to bring up is that, like, one thing about this movie is, like, even if this didn't come out, like, 1 week after Endgame, it was probably doomed from the start, because this movie is based on a toy brand that I don't think it's been relevant since, well, it came out in the 90s originally, but is it even that popular now?
Like, this has been in development.
I have to ask. The thing is, I'm not really familiar with the actual Uglydolls, but, like, is this basically a case of, like, they saw, like, how successful was Trolls? Because, like, did they think that, like,
surprisingly successful?
Actually.
Trolls made a decent amount of money.
And that movie slaps. Fuck you.
Shut up. No, okay.
Ryan's right.
I'm hyped for the sequel, okay? Don't judge.
So, like, alright, so, like, look. So, it seems like after the Lego movie made so much success and was actually good, like, a bunch of toy movies are coming out. You know, you got Uglydolls, you got Trolls, you got Playmobil. They're making a Barbie movie written by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach now.
What the fuck? What?
Yeah.
Is that still happening?
You about this?
Yeah.
That's still happening?
What?
Holy
You
fuck.
didn't know about this, Jeff?
You didn't know about this?
I'm sorry. What? Motherfucking
that's a real movie coming.
Is making a Barbie movie?
Noah Baumbach and Greta Gerwig. This completes the trilogy.
Okay, we actually have Greta Gerwig in this call right now. So Greta, what was it about this movie?
Yeah.
Hey, it's me.
Oh my god.
Okay, actually, guys, the joke is that, like, Stephanie in real life actually does look like Greta Gerwig. At least I point that out.
So back to Uglydolls. This thing was, like, in development since, like, 2011. Like, and Robert Rodriguez was supposed to direct it.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't know about this?
Wait. The sad part.
Well, he has a producer credit on this.
The sad part is he would do that. He would direct this. Okay, there's no limits for Robert Rodriguez. Okay, like, he directed Spy Kids 4. He'll do anything. Which, okay, here's the thing. I love Robert Rodriguez for that reason. He will just do whatever the fuck he wants, no matter what will tell him. Yeah. He'll make a movie in his garage for $5 and he'll put it out there. Which I respect.
I respect his hustle. I respect his hustle.
Oh, I love him for that. But God, that does not automatically mean that everything that he touches is a golden nugget. In fact, a lot of stuff
y'all ever see Shorts?
Oh, I saw that movie in theaters.
Oh my God.
Which is weird because I'm scared of wasps, so that's odd.
Wow.
But I watched that movie way too many times when I was younger.
Oh, really? My mom hated it because there was boogers in it.
Yeah. Spy Kids 3 was my shit.
Oh, same. I wanted to see Spy Kids 4 in theaters, and I
just have a hypothetical question. You think that God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
Yes, classic quote.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that quote from when I watched the Spy Kids, the first 3 films, over and over again when I was like 6.
Okay, actually, can I talk for a second about Spy Kids 4? So,
go
when
ahead.
when I was a kid, I really wanted to see that piece of shit because I had no taste. And like, do you remember one thing that really amuses me because of how
I don't
fucking
think I've
bad
seen
it is?
it.
Okay, do you guys remember when it came out in theaters, like they had like the fucking like card that you just sniff?
Yeah, the
Oh.
odorama.
Yes.
The odorama cards.
Yeah,
Yes.
Or the aroma scope.
that never went anywhere. And like, I remember I just randomly one day I found a card of that in like a baseball field, and I was like, "What's this?" And I just took it home and I had it, and then I just smelled it and just I don't know, it smelled
They
a little bit
actually
like berries.
used that in the
That's it.
theatrical run of the movie.
Exactly.
They actually use a similar odorama, whatever, card for fucking Rugrats Gone Wild, Gone Sexual, not clickbait.
yeah.
Why is it always
in
for the
hood.
movies with poop? I want to smell that. Why?
The
Why do
only
they always
time
do that?
If
Yeah, I-
polyester was, I don't know how the polyester cards smell, but Polyester is a fantastic movie, and I'm so happy it's getting a Criterion. But moving on.
And like,
God.
about what I was gonna mention earlier about Janelle Monáe is like, there's a difference between an actor doing something that I don't like and an actor doing something I wouldn't even expect them to do. Like, Anya Taylor-Joy usually does like indie horror, and she's starring in the fucking Playmobil movie. That's like,
No.
I didn't think that was her
Oh
type
my
of movie, so
God.
this is odd.
Jesus Christ.
Wait a
Hey,
second.
you know what, mate? Every once in a while, somebody just needs like a new kitchen. Like sometimes you need a kitchen movie.
Every once in a while, they need to get their kids back from the
Yeah.
mafia.
Wait, I need to ask something. When we talking about Uglydolls or something?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
get
we're
back.
talking
exactly,
about
we
Ugly
were.
Dolls. So,
But
Ugly
there's
Dolls.
so many other things we could be talking about aside from Uglydolls, but we're still talking about Uglydolls. So
Yeah.
so shit.
Uh,
So anyway, this movie sucks. Aside from Lou, there's nothing really here for anyone older than 5. It's just obnoxious and
It's
childish,
literally
and it's
generic.
dumb. Like I said, if not for Lou, I would have walked out on this 20 minutes in because it's like you're being stuck in a kindergarten class for an hour and a half.
I can imagine.
It's insanely generic. The only character in the movie who had any sort of charisma, like whatsoever, remotely any, was the Blake Shelton character. And even he seemed like he didn't want to do it. You know, he was like the green like bunny character or something. Throughout this whole movie, I just wanted to play that Filthy Frank clip. That is the only thing I thought of throughout the entire movie, was that Filthy Frank quote.
I'm curious to see how bad this movie is, so I will watch it at some point just to torture myself. Because I mean, I'm going.
Yeah.
Live tweet it! Live tweet it!
I don't have the energy. Do you guys remember when I live tweeted Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the Lawn Hall?
Oh, we never forget.
Yeah. Oh, like wait, no.
I've never seen that from you, Brian.
Wait, actually, the only one I knew at the time was Jeff. I mean, I didn't meet Jack until October of 2017.
Yeah.
So
That's
I didn't even meet you, Brian. I didn't even meet you until like January of 2018.
exactly. So like, yeah, I live tweeted Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the Lawn Hall, and like I didn't even have the energy for it because I had to just keep pausing every 5 seconds and saying something. So live tweets aren't really my thing, but maybe I'll do one just for the hell of it.
It was frustrating to do one for Ugly Dolls, but I did it.
You
Really?
made it. You survived.
Jeff,
Just
can
watch-
you please link my thread in the description?
And I'm willing to let you get even with me. I'm willing to.
Oh, I will. I have some ideas.
Oh,
Hey, George, force Jeff to wait. What was that? There's like a lot of really awful movies you've seen that you could probably tell Jeff to watch. Wait, tell him to watch The Kissing Booth or Chicken Girls.
Oh, Chicken Girls. Yeah.
Chicken Girls? What?
No,
What the fuck is Chicken Girls?
It's some stupid YouTube show. But hey,
Okay.
you know what? I've got an idea for you to live tweet. That new Logan Paul airplane movie.
Oh fuck no!
Oh no!
No, George, that's too far. That's too far.
Guys,
that's like straight.
I was actually kind of considering watching that movie just because, like, I feel like you need at least for your 20 of your year rankings, you have to have at least 2 half-star films.
Yeah,
You gotta have at least
yeah.
2.
So
I
far,
already
I've
have
won
one.
11. Actually, hey George. One thing that amuses me about Chicken Girls is that it is like one of that in The Room are the only 2 films Lydia rated half star to under Letterboxd.
Oh, yeah.
So it must be that good.
She was the one who made me watch it.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
What? Wait, this is a web series?
Yeah.
Isn't it a movie?
Five.
It's a web series in a movie.
5 seasons.
Wait, what? Are you serious?
What are we talking about?
Chicken Girls.
Yeah, Chicken Girls.
What?
5 seasons. It has as many seasons as Corey Feldman has albums. Speaking of Corey Feldman, he should have done the music for this movie. Come on.
I'll put in a flashback sequence here.
For those who are not here on the last episode, Brian brought up Fox and the Hound during first time watches, and he brought up Corey Feldman. And I said, well, whenever I think of Corey Feldman now, I was thinking of that album he made.
Oh, no!
And Jeff.
And my
Jeff-
reaction was exquisite.
Fox and the Hound is
Brian,
like OG.
Brian, I'm sorry to interrupt, but whenever anyone brings up Corey Feldman now, I always think of that fucking album he made.
Oh, that shit's awful.
Oh my
He
god.
thinks he's
He made,
Jesus.
he made an album.
You didn't know?
Yes!
Oh my God.
It's really
so,
bad.
It's so fucking awful. Oh my god.
Jeff, just watch the Anthony Fantano
Yes.
video if you're
Watch the
curious.
made-
Anthony Fantano
he
review.
made-
It's fucking classic.
He made 5 albums.
Yes. Corey. I don't know what he was thinking when he made those.
Corey Feldman's Truth. What the fuck is this?
Like I love Corey Feldman, but like, stick to acting, buddy. Come on, just stick to acting, buddy.
oh my god.
Okay. Permission to upload this part of the podcast on my YouTube channel to show Jeff being dumbfounded by Corey Feldman's music career.
Permission granted. What the shit? I'm dumbfounded. I mean, what the fuck is Corey Feldman's Truth Movement? Is that the name?
That sounds like a cult.
It does sound like a cult.
That was the Swedish
sounds-
cult in Midsummer. It was
It makes
Corey
I
Feldman.
don't-
It makes Corey
As if
Feldman.
I didn't need more proof to know that Corey Feldman is a fucking weirdo these days.
It makes Corey Feldman sound like he's a 9/11 truther.
Oh.
Yeah, he is.
Also, but here, did you know that Snoop Dogg appeared on one of his songs? Because of course he did.
Hey, remember the
God.
time Snoop Dogg appeared on Big Time Rush?
Yeah, that's right.
gosh.
I made that my profile picture.
Oh my
for a while.
god.
He was the animated Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
and he was on a Big Time Rush
That.
song.
I clearly don't remember that episode.
Actually, wait, hey guys. I think my favorite Letterboxd review I've ever done is my review of Slumdog Millionaire, where I brought up that one Big Time Rush song. That's my best review. Okay.
Right.
I
Big
don't know.
Time-
I haven't watched Big Time Rush since like 2011.
Big Time Rush is the finest anime. What are you talking
Also,
The Corey
did you guys
Feldman.
know? Did you guys know Big Time Rush was created by the same guy who made Johnny Test? Yes, Willie.
Oh, good lord.
I'm not surprised.
What?
I am not surprised.
Johnny
don't-
fucking Test.
Johnny Christ.
Yeah, Johnny Christ, exactly.
Johnny Testicles.
God, I am so sorry. This podcast is nothing but annoying memes. I'm so sorry.
Johnny
This is what we
Testing
do.
cuts
This is what we do on this
Okay.
podcast. We just shoot the shit and talk
Well,
about.
I spend too much fucking time memeing, so sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm blaming it on.
I
I blame it
know.
on George. I blame it on George.
Yeah, I'm like the biggest edgelord of the entire podcast.
Trust me, I know.
Blame it on me too. I'm the biggest fucking memer here besides
Anyway.
Sword.
Anyway,
I'm like the most sane person in this podcast.
Okay, do you guys have
And
anything
that's
else to say
saying
about?
something.
Do you guys have anything else to say about Uglydolls?
No,
I mean,
fun.
it's
Just watch Trolls again. Wait, what, George?
I just watch. Look, yeah, like
Watch
it-
Trolls.
apparently, yeah, it's on Blu-ray now. Like, okay, I saw this at Target, right? And it wasn't even the weirdest thing I saw at Target that day, because as you might know on my Twitter, I found a published Obama Biden fan fiction in the book
What?
section. I'm not even kidding.
This is
Okay,
real.
what?
A Barack Obama Joe Biden fan fiction.
I want to
Is
die.
it going to be turned into a movie?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
I hope so. I hope
Pity-
so.
I mean, actually,
Pretty
honestly,
successful.
that wouldn't be that surprising because, like, here, have you guys heard about this film that came out called After?
Yes.
Wait. I
Yeah,
forgot.
Sadly.
it's not a fan
Because let me tell you something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that
That
movie, yeah.
film is, I shit you not, a One Direction fan fiction that got turned into a movie.
I'm not shocked to hear that. I'm not shocked.
Because it was based on Harry Styles.
In fact,
Yeah. It was
actually,
like
Jack,
I can't even. It was like uploaded to like one of those like fan fiction websites.
Jack, I was expecting what you were gonna say to be a lot worse because like I was expecting you to say some shit like Power Rangers and Steven Universe crossover fan fiction or something shit. Actually, no, I'm gonna write that and turn it
Unfortunately,
into.
no.
I'm gonna write that and turn it into a fantasy love story between a demon and a unicorn.
I mean, you know,
Quentin Tarantino hit me
if
up.
50 Shades of Grey can become a can be made from a Twilight fan fiction,
and
go
be the worst
ahead.
movie ever. And be the worst movie ever made.
So did you guys know that the longest written piece of English literature is some random person's Super Smash Brothers fanfiction?
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes, this is real. Look it up.
The Bible.
Really?
Fucking
Seriously?
It's longer than the Bible itself. It's longer than
Is it-
War and Peace.
It's
Is
more
it long-
important
so
than
it's like-
Bible stuff. Got him.
Jesus Christ.
It's the longest written piece of English literature is a fucking Smash Brothers
I
fan.
swear to. What is with the world?
I have no idea. Dude.
I mean, how old was the person that made him? Because honestly, I kind of respect that.
yeah, same honestly.
It's so.
I mean, it may be terrible writing, but you know what? Like,
I mean, yeah, it's right.
good on him.
Wait, guys,
That's
do you
something
guys
to be proud
remember?
of.
Do you guys remember that one Elvis the Alien video where he showed off a Shrek fanfiction on his People Ruin Shrek video?
Yeah.
Imagine if that got turned into script. Imagine if that got turned.
Shrek
Imagine
X Dora X Donald Trump.
Imagine if that got turned into the script for Shrek 5.
Brian, don't give them any ideas.
Oh, I don't care. I want to see that, please.
No. Don't let them know. We'll make it, and we'll reap the rewards.
Oh my God, you're right.
What are we talking about? Oops.
Point is,
We're
what-
talking
okay.
about Uglydolls, but
What man?
Point is, Uglydolls is out on digital Blu-ray, but don't watch it. Go watch Booksmart. Go watch Rocket Man. Go watch High Life. Go watch
Trolls?
Yeah, go watch Trolls. Trolls is a lot better.
finally,
thank-
Dragged across
Thank you,
concrete.
George.
Anyway, Uglydolls.
Anyway,
Don't
we're
watch
moving
it.
on.
I do have an actual Uglydolls question. Would you
Okay.
say it's even like fun bad, or is it just like boring and dull?
Nah,
Because that kind of
nah.
depends on.
Torture. It's torture.
It's unbearable bad. It's like you're stuck in a kindergarten class for an hour and a half. It's that
I'm
kind
still
of bad.
fucking watching. I'm still fucking
Question.
watching it. I don't care.
Question.
Guys,
Would
let
you
me-
say you were ever? Wait, no. Would you say you were ever bored whilst watching it?
Not so much bored as annoyed.
I need to ask a question about Ugly Dolls. If you saw like a younger cousin or whatever watching Ugly Dolls, what would you do?
I feel like, okay.
Okay.
I would,
Oh wait.
I would break the fucking Blu-ray player.
Actually, okay. I just want to say something. Like, okay, for one thing, if my cousin was watching, I'd give him up for adoption. So, okay. One thing about Ugly Dolls that I'm assuming is like it looks like the most fucking generic take on its message I've ever seen in my life. Like, don't judge people for how they look. That is the most overdone cliche in history.
And the thing about it is that like it's so surface level. Like there are so many actual stories that do something much more interesting with that concept.
Elephant Man.
I was kind of going for more the young demographic, but sure.
Okay.
If you want to make like a film, an animated film for kids to talk about
Oh wait,
that kind of stuff,
Hunchback.
Yes.
sure, Hunchback is a great example, but I was kind of more leaning towards more something like Zootopia. I think that is a really good message
Well, I
of
mean,
like
that would-
handling those themes.
No, I meant like okay. Well, what I mean is like there's a difference between like Zootopia is more so like a racism metaphor. I'm meaning more of like
Yeah.
don't judge people for being ugly. Like
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
no shit, don't do that. That's mean, but like that's the most overdone trope in history. Like every cartoon, every sitcom has done that. Like holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Last
And, like,
thing we're gonna
there's-
say about Ugly Dolls.
I don't know. It's the best movie ever made of 2019.
As a testament to how bad this movie is, this movie is what the CIA uses to torture terrorists.
Cool.
Let's move on to first-time watches, shall we?
Sure.
All right,
Hell, who
yay.
wants, this time we can all talk about who's going first. Okay, sure. Jeff, go.
I'm really excited tonight. Okay, I'm in a good mood. This is fun. We're
Oh,
going through this.
that's nice, man.
So
All
starting
right.
off,
So,
Ugly Dolls.
First off, I saw a movie that Brian actually recommended to me. It's called The Art of Self-Defense.
Yeah, boy.
And
Oh, yeah.
holy,
Heard
I
good things.
went in completely blind, and I was not prepared for this movie because it is such a brilliant, dark, dark comedy. Like,
Yeah, don't watch the
it's
trailer.
don't watch the trailer. I haven't
The
even
tra-
seen the
The
trailer,
trailer.
but I told
Okay,
Brian.
I'm not watching
real quick, not to interrupt. I'm just saying the trailer legit shows everything. It shows some of the biggest moments. It's like almost 3 minutes long. I swear to God, don't watch the trailer under any
Do
circumstances.
not watch the trailer. Because
Thanks,
there's
Jeff.
so many twists and turns in this movie that you do not want to be given away. I was not expecting this movie to go in some of the directions it did, but it was just so darkly written and so witty. Like Jesse Eisenberg, I'm so glad he's still around because he's so good in this. Like
That's like a role meant for him.
yeah, he's so good at these hapless wimp roles like this, and he's such a dork, and I love him. But yeah, the art of self-defense, it's great. It's awesome. And then
The best
after
way.
that,
I'm sorry to interrupt, Jeff. I just want to say one thing about art of self-defense. The best way to describe it: think of Sorry to Bother You if it was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos.
yeah, that's
Oh,
basically
okay.
that's good.
Yeah.
Accurate description.
The directing is
So-
very Lanthimosian, pretty much.
Yeah.
My
And
interest has peaked.
next, I watched another Jesse Eisenberg movie,
Whoa.
Zombieland.
Oh yeah, good movie.
Yeah,
Love Zombie-
it's
love
funny.
Zombieland.
It's really entertaining, and I'm really glad I got to see it before it went off Netflix. And I can't wait for the sequel.
All right.
I'm really worried about the sequel, to be honest with you, because like comedy sequels that have come out like 10 years after the original, they don't have the best track record. I mean, I like Anchorman 2, but other than that, really, I can't think of any other comedy sequel that came out like 10 or 20 years after the original that's been good. And which is why I'm assuming
I'll do some research whilst
if
you
they-
guys talk.
if they ever make a Step Brothers 2, I'm sure it's not going to be good.
They probably will.
Though I mean, like Adam McKay said he's up for it, so we'll see.
I don't know. He's been making like Vice. And shit.
Well, I mean, I know that, but I saw an interview with Adam McKay. I think it was when The Big Short came out, where he said he's willing to do a sequel to Step Brothers if he has a good idea for it. Yeah.
So next, I watched Bambi. Well, story behind
Ooh.
this, I went and got the Blu-ray because my dumbass didn't really understand exactly how the Disney Movie Club worked. Because long story short, my favorite movie of all time, The Black Hole, is finally getting a Blu-ray release.
Is it actually your favorite movie?
I mean, in some respects, yes, but I mean, I love it, but I'll get to that some other time. Or I've talked about it. You can go watch a review on my channel, Jeff Movie Man, Real Obscure Show, blah, blah, blah. But I bought the Blu-ray because I thought I'd have to build up Disney Movie Club Rewards points to get a Blu-ray, but turns out that's not how it works. You just order the Blu-ray through their site. And so, yeah, I watched the movie anyway. It's good. It's a little, I don't know. It's a little dated, honestly, but I think
it's very simple, very simple.
it's very simple, but it's good. Then I saw The Farewell, which we talked about. I saw Hobbs and Shaw, which was so fucking stupid and still
Masterpiece.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I saw that with my friends. Honestly, I wish it had been more stupid because I think
I'll watch
it
it.
was
I'll watch it.
the
Sorry.
stupid stuff. It was fun, but I think it was overwritten. Like there was a lot of, I think they leaned way too heavily on the comedic side of things because there was a lot of stuff where there'd be this banter between The Rock and Jason Statham, and it would just go on for like forever. And you get to a point where it was like, okay, we get it. Just shut up and move on. Come on.
I'll watch it when it comes out on Blu-ray because I will watch anything, and I mean anything with Jason Statham in it because I want to watch the shittiest movies as long as Jason Statham is in it.
Have you seen
Watch Craig. Sorry. Sorry,
I am.
cough.
I do want to
Sorry,
watch.
I
Craig.
need to watch
Craig. Craig is awesome.
And
Craig
Jeff,
is
sorry,
the best.
sorry for interrupting you, Jeff. What were you saying?
Next, I watched Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. I love
Hell yeah.
it.
I haven't
Excellent,
seen it
dude.
yet, but the first one's really good. I haven't seen the sequel yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen either. Seen either.
Oh.
And Bill and
And-
Ted 3 is another sequel I'm worried about because, yet again, it's another sequel set so many years after the original, and they look too old.
Well, hopefully it'll be good. So, anyway, moving on. I watched House, 1970.
Yes!
Japanese
Hasu. Wait,
film House.
Hasu.
Hell yeah.
You watched Hasu?
I'm watching that this
And-
Halloween.
Hell
And
yeah. It's epic.
what the fuck?
It's
What
epic.
the
It's
fuck is this movie?
It's so good.
This movie is the most goddamn batshit insane thing I've seen in a while. It is just, I don't want. I don't know. If you even want to. I don't even want to get into the specifics, but you need to see this movie to believe it. It is
so
batshit
awesome.
crazy.
Jeffrey, I want to ask.
What?
Kung Fu Best Girl? Question mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
The soundtrack.
I can't wait to see the context of that.
Freaking slaps, yo.
Dude,
The Hasu soundtrack is
You are-
such gold.
Brian, you are not prepared for how.
I'm sure I'm not. I can't wait for this shit.
This is the movie. You do not watch this movie on drugs because you will die.
The only time I've ever gotten high is when I tried NyQuil.
NyQuil.
Yeah, I was high on NyQuil one time when watching Chips.
I was
So,
high
damn.
when
There's a
I was
story
high
there.
I got high
Fuck
when I was
Chips,
mom.
really, Brian? Really?
Okay, I was sick when watching it, so I took some NyQuil and I felt high on my mind.
My God.
Okay.
Imagine
You're
watching Chips high.
crazy.
Imagine watching Chips high.
Imagine watching
Dude,
Yellow
did
Submarine
you know
high.
that like people are eating each other's asses?
That movie's a masterpiece.
I was about to say that you guys need to watch Mom While High because I watched it while high and it was so much better.
You didn't make her drink
all of
alone.
you need to fucking watch Yellow Submarine high.
Oh, fuck, that'd be an experience.
That would be fucking.
Wait,
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't wake up if I did that. I wouldn't wake up till like 2032.
don't watch Gummo while high.
Okay, acid in my
Let's move on.
Gummo.
Yeah,
I think we
Jeffrey-
need to move on, guys. Yeah.
Come on, Jeffrey.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So after House, I watched Time Bandits. It's a really charming and imaginative little movie. And I've been on a Monty Python kick lately. I've been rewatching a lot of Monty Python. And I love Terry Gilliam's weird, bizarro style. And a lot of that is present here. And even some of the other Pythons are in it. And they're good to see. And it's really fun watch. So then I saw an early screening of Good Boys. I got to see it a week early. And it's okay. I mean, it's not as obnoxious and desperate as something like Sausage Party, which I liked at first and then really soured on. I mean, yeah, in a lot of senses, it does go into territory where it goes into one of those fuck comedies. But when it's not doing that, it's actually kind of charming. I mean, the kids have really good chemistry together. They're all really fun to watch in this movie. And it kind of drags a little in the first half, but once they get into shenanigans and some crazy shit happens, it really picks up and it gets more fun. So
I'm gonna
yeah,
try and see it next weekend with my brother. So
yeah, it's fun.
I mean, well, if you said it's like more than just a fuck comedy, right?
Yeah, I mean, in some respects, it still kind of is, but it's not as much as it is as Sausage Party was, and because Sausage Party was just desperate with that, and that got on my nerves.
Just as long as it's like a genuinely funny movie with some nice chemistry between the main characters.
There's some genuinely funny moments in this.
Okay,
yeah,
then I'm down. Why not?
So next, I watched Rocko's Modern Life: Static Cling, which is awesome. Trans rights, baby.
Trans rights.
Yes, it's great.
I haven't seen a single episode of the show, so I wouldn't.
I barely watched the show, but I really want to watch
the show, and I think it still worked because it's like they brought it all the way back from the F because like the style is there, the humor is there. It's like they brought it right out of the golden age of the show. It's just completely Rocco. If that makes sense.
Rocco's Modern Life.
I still haven't watched Static, but I do want.
So next, I watched another movie Brian recommended to me, The Tree of Life.
Favorite movie of all time, baby.
I'll have to watch it again to get a better opinion on it. A lot of movies, I have a reaction to it where I'm not sure exactly what to think of it at first. And sometimes there's movies that I have to see more than once to really know how I feel about it. And that's how I feel about this. I mean, I think I'd have to watch it again to get a better grasp of it and what it was trying to do. But the things I definitely know, absolutely beautiful cinematography. I mean, Malik, say what you will about his style. The cinematography in his movies is fucking ace.
Gorgeous.
The performances are fantastic. Jessica Chastain and Brad Pitt, they're both fantastic. They're really great.
They're great.
Sean Penn isn't in it for that long, sadly, but he is great too.
Yeah.
I mean, I do want to watch the extended cut at some point.
Same.
Mhm.
So next, I saw Dora and the Lost City of Gold, and this was a
Wow.
pleasant surprise because I actually really enjoyed this movie. Like, this was surprisingly really fun. It's funny, it's subversive at times, and it's, for the longest time, I was questioning this movie's existence. And I was shocked that it even existed, but I'm even more shocked that it's actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had fun with it. And then immediately after that, I saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which is also pretty darn good. It was a nice, pretty solidly scary movie. And one thing I really liked about it was just how it took itself seriously. And there's sometimes I don't like it when a lot of horror movies try to alleviate mood with out of place comedy. Halloween 2018. This one was like, yeah, fuck that. We're taking ourselves seriously, boys. And there was some really scary shit in this movie. Like, I mean, yeah, there's jump scares, but they're done really well. Like that scene with the pale woman, like that pale woman in the red hallway, that is fucking terrifying.
I'll watch it and the previous movie, both when they like come on Blu-ray, because I'm not gonna like rush up to see them. They seem like
out of those
Blu-ray
two,
movies.
I'd recommend Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark because I'd recommend you go see that because it's really entertaining.
I'm curious to check out both at this point because hearing the surprisingly good buzz about the City Gold was like, whoa. So I'll check it out later.
Starring Danny Trejo as Boots.
I'm surprised. Okay, Jeff, I have a question. How is Benicio del Toro in it? Because I'm shocked he's in it.
What, as Swiper?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fun.
Okay.
Like he has a good amount of screen time. So next, I went and saw Apocalypse Now, the final cut version in theaters.
Lucky.
So, bit of backstory. The day before I saw this, I got into a car accident. I got rear-ended on the highway on my way home from my editing gig in Metairie. And, yeah. But I was not going to let that stop me from going to see this. So, I went in my rental car, and I made it. And, I mean, I've seen this movie twice before. I've seen the theatrical cut and the redo cut, of which I like the theatrical cut more, but I think this is a really, really solid edit of the film. I think it's an absolutely incredible experience on a big screen. The sound in this movie is on a big screen in IMAX. It's deafening, but it's so immersive and engaging. It's just an incredible experience. And this cut of the film, I think it's a good balance. I think it's better than the redo cut, but not as good as theatrical. There's some stuff that they nixed from the redo cut that kind of, okay, I'm glad they nixed it. Although the French plantation scene from redo is still in there, and a lot of people are iffy on whether that really needed to be in there. Yeah, I think that does drag the movie a little bit, but not to the point where I think it bogs down the whole movie. I think it's a really good cut of the film, and I'm really glad I got to see it. And the restoration is absolutely incredible. Like, it is crystal clear. It looked like it was shot today. That's how good it looked. So next, I watched The Witch. And
Epic.
I am super excited for The Lighthouse, so I wanted to prepare a little bit. And The Witch, it's pretty darn good. It's really
Somebody
scary
say masterpiece?
Yeah,
No, it isn't.
Honestly, it is a masterpiece. I think it's a masterpiece.
No.
And Anya Taylor-Joy
Yes.
is fantastic.
I love her. I love her.
Then I watched.
She is so cute. She is so cute.
I know. She's the best.
Then I watched Invader Zim, Enter the Florpus. I've barely seen Invader Zim, the show, much at all, but that didn't stop me from really enjoying this. I really enjoyed this. What really sold it for me was the voice acting. It's just so over the top and hammy, and it's just so entertaining.
That's kind of what like Richard Stephen Horvitz really does. With his voice
He's so funny to listen to. So yeah. And then lastly, today I went and saw Blinded by the Light, which was really good. It treads a lot of familiar notes, but it does them all really well. And I'm glad I got to see it in full. I was worried I wouldn't because half an hour into the movie or so, the fire alarm went off in the theater and we all had to exit. But that turned out to be a false alarm, so it didn't last long. So we all went back in and they started the movie up again. Yeah, some dumbass kid must have pulled the fire alarm.
Well, kids are dumb in general. I hate children.
Of course you do. But
I do.
But thankfully, the movie was really good, and they gave us all free passes for our trouble after that whole incident. So that was nice. So that's it for my first time watches, and thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna just do 3 for now, since I'm just doing the 3 movies I watched recently, besides Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, obviously. So the first one is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it's been on my radar for a while, and yeah, I can see why it's so beloved. It's a fantastic film.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get through this really quickly since I don't really have much to say on it because my memory's a piece of shit sometimes.
You're good. Yeah. You're good, sweetie.
Yeah.
Okay.
The second one I watched, which I watched earlier in the week, was The Artist.
Phenomenal film.
Another Best Picture winner?
I'd have to imagine, like, I can't be 100% accurate on this, but I'd imagine, like, a silent film in, like, 2011 was a unique idea, since, as we all know, The Artist won Best Picture, but before that, the only silent film to win a Best Picture was Wings, the very first one. And even then, Wings is technically the only completely silent one, since The Artist has a of scenes of dialogue, but besides that, it's 99% or so silent.
That was a really, really solid lineup that year's Oscars. We had The Artist, The Tree of Life, Hugo.
Extremely loud and incredibly close. The Artist, fantastic film. Really loved it. And the third film and final film I'm gonna watch, which I watched earlier today, funnily enough, was The Big Lebowski, one that's been on my radar for a hell of a long time. I really loved it. I didn't laugh as much as I expected to, but still quite a lot, and I really loved it. It's 10 out of 10 for me. Not sure where I'd place it, since I don't really like to place stuff absurdly high right away, but I can imagine The Big Lebowski being one of my favorites. Alright, that's all my first time watches. I need to get some sleep. Good night, y'all. See ya.
Good night.
See you, Mandy. Love you.
Bye, and good night.
Nighto.
So I don't really know where to start, because if I just continued on from where my first time watches would be, this would be like 2 hours of me just talking about random shit. So
go anywhere, I guess.
I guess I could just start with the beginning of August. Starting off with the 3rd of August, we got The Intruder, which came out this year.
Oh, classic.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Again,
awesome.
I mean, what do you want me to say? The movie sucks.
Jack,
Dennis Quaid is like actually trying, but like it sucks.
I just want to watch it because holy fuck, Dennis Quaid's smile in that one. I saw like a clip of him like spying on his girl in the shower. Oh my god, his smile is the funniest shit I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
It is. It's funny then, but the thing is about it is it's not really that much of a so bad it's good movie.
Oh, damn it.
Like, there's one or two like funny moments towards the end, but it's like, do you really want to wait like over an hour? Like that clip you saw was probably like one of the 2 funny scenes of that movie. It's just mostly forgettable.
I seriously can't get over his fucking smile. It's so fucking hilarious. Oh my god.
It is pretty funny. The following day, I watched a film that's infinitely better in every way. A film that I absolutely love and just keep thinking about all the time is a film called Living in Oblivion.
Oh, I need
a film that I just found out. A film I just found
it.
out about, and then I thought it was really interesting, and I decided to watch it with basically no knowledge aside from the fact that it had something to do with filmmaking and Steve Buscemi was in it, and I absolutely love this movie. Without giving away too much, it's basically just about like this one guy who's
Right, stop.
No.
And fucking smile.
Living in Oblivion. It's a fantastic film. I love it. Any person that likes film or wants to get into film, I think this is kind of a requirement to watch. Honestly,
I can't wait to watch
the
it.
level. Yeah. It's basically about this one guy who's trying to get like this one take of the film, but everything goes wrong every single time, and it's so good. I love it. Such a funny film. Steve Buscemi is fantastic in it. Loved it. Everyone should see it.
The director of it was actually a cinematographer on some early Jim Jarmusch films, so
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
that's pretty
Oh,
nice.
nice.
And then that same day, I can't believe I rated it an 8, but I brought it up to a 9 just because I love this documentary. It's a pretty short one. It's called Paris is Burning, and it's this documentary about drag queens, and I really loved it. The thing is, there's really not a lot to get into with it, except it's just really interesting to look into that a lot of that stuff, and there's nothing necessarily that amazing about like the craft. It's just a really interesting, a moving, emotional documentary that I think a lot of people should watch.
I need to watch it.
Then the next film I watched was the Harmony Korine film. I've now seen all of Harmony Korine's films. So this one's
boy.
Gummo, which I know Brian is now a massive fan of.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm assuming it's going to go up to a 10 out of 10 on my second watch. I know you weren't the biggest fan, which I respect.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
the thing is, it's like, I don't love any of Harmony Korine's films, but I definitely respect the guy as a creator, mostly because you can totally tell that his movies are completely his vision. And that's something I can always like admire about filmmakers. He doesn't care. He doesn't really care about what people think of him or what his audience thinks of his movies.
Exactly.
He's just making stuff that makes him happy, and I like that about him.
And,
as for Gummo, again, it's weird, and I admire the film for its weirdness. There's a lot of really good performances, like early Chloe Sevigny, as always, is awesome.
Chloe Sevigny?
Yeah, Chloe.
I don't think anyone knows how to pronounce her name.
I don't even know if she does, but it's a good film. The thing is, despite the fact that I give his films positive, though not high ratings, I pretty much like all of them to a certain degree. There's something I always at least really admire, or really, really admire about all of them. It's just that I don't think a lot of them are all that interesting or rewatchable, though I do think they work as very good background material just to have something to talk over with your friends.
And they fucking Gummo on their TV. I respect them a lot.
You are automatically my best friend if I come over and you start playing Trash Humpers without me.
Oh, I do that. Imagine just walking to someone's house at a family reunion. Mm-hmm. They put on Trash Humpers.
Yes.
I'd be like, I'm glad to be in this family. But, like, the thing I love about Harmony Korine, well, I mean, I love a lot of things about him. He's one of my favorites. But, like, the main thing I love about him is, like, his films feel so realistic. Like, a lot of movies that are about, like, a really, really dark subject matter probably still hold back in some regards because of what they can show or not. With Harmony Korine, he'll just go above and beyond with showing the most fucked up sides of life. And he'll just go above and beyond in a way that feels fucked up but still realistic. Like, the content you see in these movies are like, oh my god, this is sick. But this kind of stuff happens in real life. Like, Gummo has a ton of fucked up stuff in it, but you're like, there are probably some people in the world who actually are like this. And it just probably makes it that more horrifying. To know there are some people in the world who are like this.
So the following night, which was on a Thursday night, me and my mum were just like, stuff it, let's go to the movies. So we went to the movies on a school Thursday night. And we watched a movie called Late Night, which was actually really, really good. And I think is way better than it has a lot of right to be.
I want to see it, but like I didn't see it in theaters. I think it's out of theaters by now. But the thing is, I don't think Amazon Studios is going to give it a physical release because there's nothing about it on Blu-ray.com yet. So I'm worried Amazon's going to pull a Cold War and Beautiful Boy with this.
No, they better not.
Seriously, if you are a filmmaker, do not give your film to Amazon Studios. That is like Fox on suicide.
They fuck it
also, a lot of them just leak online as well.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like a lot of the release of Suspiria was like it was only in theaters for like a couple weeks in like 2 theaters of mine, and I missed my chance to see him, or I'll see the movie, but you know.
Late Night, it's a really, really it's not a lot to talk about other than it's just a really good, funny movie. And Emma Thompson, like usual, is great. John Lithgow also is really, really good in it as well. It's just a funny movie. It's a good romantic comedy kind of thing. Did you? I know Jeffrey's seen it. Did you want to add anything to it?
Yeah, I think it was really funny, and I think Emma Thompson was hilarious. Like, this is one of my favorite performances of hers. And Mindy Kaling is just adorable. And
yeah, she is.
Yeah, it's a really sharply written movie. Yeah, it's great.
It's a good movie. It's just like, it's one of those things. Like, it's just good. What do you want me to say? And then I finally got to see Midsommar in a theater.
Yeah, good film. Good film.
It is a good film. And
masterpiece.
The thing with Midsommar, as I've mentioned before, freaking love Hereditary. I know there are a lot of people that love it. I know there are a lot of people who hate it. I know there are a lot of people that are in the middle. I absolutely adore Hereditary.
I love it so much too.
I really like
Yeah.
it.
It's one of the, like, the thing with Hereditary is that was a film that after I saw it, like, still just could not stop thinking about it. It's
Same.
endlessly interesting to me. As for Midsommar, I was never going in hoping for anything as equal because that's kind of just like an unfair bias. And if you go in expecting a 9 out of 10 for anything, you just kind of ruin your expectations off the bat.
I don't think you should ever really do that. Like, I don't expect the film to be a 10 out of 10 at this point.
No, neither do I. But with Midsommar, I can definitely say that I really liked the film. It's very different to what I expected because I was going in as blind as possible. I muted everything. I didn't want to see anything about the film. I think I watched the trailer ages ago, but completely forgot about it. I didn't want to hear anything about it. I knew that, like, there was something. The stuff that I knew about it was only extremely basic things, like some of the actors, the director, obviously, the setting. And again, I didn't want to do that. And instead of getting, and I'm not going to spoil it for anything else, but instead of a horror movie, I got a really very bizarre and interesting thriller.
It's not a horror movie. It really is.
I don't know if I can't. The thing is, it's like I don't consider it much of a horror movie, but at the same time, I don't really know what other genre to put it under. So it's
a
kind of like
with some horror elements and has some really intense, thrilling moments.
Yeah, but what I was also surprised about, it is one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time, and I don't even know if that was intentional. There were some scenes in this movie where I was laughing fucking hysterically, not in a so bad it's good way, in that. I think I mentioned that, like, in A Killing of a Sacred Deer, some of the stuff in that film is so horrific and terrible. Not bad and terrible, but terrible to these people, that it starts to become funny. And there's one scene in this film that I'm thinking of that had me fucking laughing out loud to myself. And I wasn't the only one in the theater who was laughing, but it was both horrific and horrifying at the same time. And I'm not really going to get into it. I'm not going to say what it is for people who are listening that haven't seen it. But all I'm going to say is Big Rock.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That sound effect when that happened, I don't even know why. It was almost cartoonish, and and I know for a fact there are definitely going to be people out there that completely misinterpret that, but I found it fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And there's even then there's also intentional comedy as well. Like, there's a lot of lines that Will Poulter says. By the way, fucking love Will Poulter. He's so underrated. Yeah. Will Poulter needs to be put in, like, every movie. He's so good. There are so many great lines. Too. Yeah, but, like, I love Will Poulter, and he's really funny in the movie. And there's so much stuff about it to, like, delve in and think about. And when I got out of it, I couldn't decide if I wanted to give it maybe like a 7 or an 8. But over time, it's one of those films. I'm like, even if I don't think about it or love it to the degree of Hereditary, I still find it really interesting. And now that I know what I'm going to get into, I really do want to rewatch it as soon as possible.
That's kind of how I felt too, because, like, I kind of felt a bit underwhelmed with it, if I'm being honest with you. But I'm hoping that I get a little more, because I was expecting from Ari Aster, I was kind of expecting something more, if I'm being honest, because Hereditary is such a well-crafted, well-done, so with so much to it. And I was expecting something a little bit more along the lines.
I was expecting something a lot more darker. After seeing something as effective and deeply unsettling as Hereditary, I would never say I was disturbed to that degree in this film. That being said, there is one shot, again, this is a different scene, that sticks inside my mind and is just, it gives me shivers. But
without spoiling it, I didn't think the ending to Midsommar really paid off. Not to say it was really a bad ending by itself, but the ending to Hereditary was just like, oh my god, that was so satisfying, and the ending to Midsommar was just kind of like, oh, so that happened.
I mean, it is a very much that happened kind of ending, but I loved the ending. I thought that was like the stuff.
I didn't say
I thought the ending was great. No.
I just kind of expecting something a little bit more satisfying, I guess.
Sure. And I kind of expected that too, but I also just loved that sequence. I thought I didn't even mention the music of this film is just brilliant.
Epic.
Yes,
awesome.
Probably the best.
Two.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this and I think Parasite probably have the 2 best scores of the year. Like the music
For
in both
me-
of those films, so
For
good.
me, that's this and The Last Black Man in San Francisco in terms
Oh,
of best scores of the year.
Steph has seen Last Black Man in San Francisco. And she
Would,
gave me a link, so I'm gonna watch it soon.
So that same night, I watched the documentary, which I've been really looking forward to for a long while, called Apollo 11. Because
I need to see that.
the thing is with I don't know if I haven't really mentioned this much, but I love like the Apollo 11 and like NASA missions. Like that's something that's always just fascinated the hell out of me. I mean, I love that. Obviously, it's not that much of a thing with it, but I loved First Man as well. And the thing is, after watching First Man, I felt like I genuinely learned a lot about that stuff. And after the thing with Apollo 11, it's just like a presentation of the whole mission. You basically learn nothing from it except, unless you have no idea about how it happened, you basically gain nothing except, this is what happened here, this is what happened here. But they don't even, they just show it to you. They don't actually mention it. And this is kind of a thing where this kind of does stray away from the show don't tell rule, because I just don't think I gained anything from this. It's a good presentation of showing exactly what happened, but again, I just didn't find it all that interesting. And I mean, I just don't think I gained anything from it.
I was actually about to ask you, like how does it compare to First Man? Because like the thing with like First Man is that like after being so spoon-fed with such a great exploration of the Apollo 11 mission, I mean, like how can it compare? I mean, I know it'd be unfair to compare them just because they're so
it is. It is. I mean, again, one's a film, one's a documentary. It is a little unfair to compare them, but.
Well, I know, but like, what could Apollo 11 do that First Man didn't in terms of presenting everything about the space mission? You know what I mean? Just like how I'm wondering how A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood will compare to how well they present Mr. Rogers and Won't You Be My Neighbor.
Exactly. I agree. The thing is, it's like First Man. Like I felt like again, I learned so much, not just like about the the details and stuff, but like I felt like I learned so much about the actual people, and I learned about you're in that, like when you're in a rocket ship, you are strapped in there. You are strapped in a box where you may or may not explode within seconds.
Fucking so shocking, horror. Well, kind of horrifying.
Exactly. That's what makes it so horrifying.
Like Hereditary was scary. Like Hereditary was the scariest horror movie of the year, but First Man's not far off. That movie is almost as
terrifying, almost. And also,
it is
really depressing. It's so and it makes me cry every time, and it truly is a masterpiece. Well, close.
I love First Man.
I love it so much. One time when Big Little Lies was coming on, I turned on HBO and I turned on early because I didn't want to miss anything. And First Man was like just ending, and I saw the ending again, and I legit couldn't hold back my tears.
Such a good scene. All right. Anyway, apparently, I think you guys, I don't know if you talked about this earlier in the podcast when I wasn't here, but I saw probably the worst film to come out of this entire year. The Haunting of Sharon
We
Tate.
briefly brought it up in the...
Oh, boy.
Briefly.
I can go on about this movie.
That's all you guys.
I'm just going to keep brief because I really don't want to talk about this film. But I'm just going to say this. The acting is terrible. It looks ugly.
Porno quality acting.
It is porno quality acting. Hilary Duff is just embarrassing. And the worst, even then, it's like, that's bad. But the worst thing about this film is that it literally exploits the fact that these innocent people were horribly, brutally murdered for fake out dream sequences. It's disgusting. It's tasteless. It's embarrassing. And
I know.
It's one of the few films I feel genuine distaste for.
It was actually offensive.
It's embarrassing. Like I legitimately, like, it's a disgusting portrayal. The thing is, if you wanted to make like a scary thriller out of this story, that's fine. But like the way it does it is so poorly handled and like again tasteless and wrong. Maybe like these people who are making it didn't necessarily have bad intentions, but they really messed up. Like really messed up. Anyway, let's just move on from that shit stain. Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. I've never watched a single one of these movies, and I was like, you know what? It's a Sunday night. I'm going to go with my friends. We're going to go eat KFC. We're going to eat some Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I'm
Green
just
Book.
gonna watch this because Jason Statham. I like
Yes.
Jason Statham.
Yes.
This movie's boring. I felt like my brain was coming out of my nose about halfway through because I just completely zoned out. It's just like, after a while, it felt like the ending of a DC movie with less lights and CGI shit, except for it was extended out for a whole movie. It's just white noise after a while. It's nothing. It's just headache inducing. We got like 30 minutes in and my friend told me there's like, sorry, no, we like, I was sitting there after a good while. I don't even know how long. And then I asked my friend, like, how much longer does this have? And he says, we've got about 70 minutes left.
Oh,
And I just...
Oh my god.
It's like not even fun bad. It's just nothing. Like, I think Jason Statham's a really watchable, like, charismatic actor. And he's so much better than, like, these films
I'll be right back.
like, give him. I don't even hate The Rock. I don't mind him. He can be really entertaining. He can be. I think he seems. I think he seems like a cool dude. I like Idris Elba a lot. I think he could be a really fun, villain. There's a lot of people in this cast that I really like, but like this film is just like, it's like white static. I don't know. I didn't care.
And The Rock is really one of those people who you need to give like the right material to, and like
for sure.
Because like obviously he's not the best actor, but you got to if you give him the right material and the right role and the right direction, he can be able to be unironically good, or at least insanely charming in a way that works for the movie. It's just he never is able to get that kind of material when you put him in shit like Skyscraper or Rampage. It's like just give him like a decent script and he could be good.
Yeah.
But I guess probably people just wouldn't think he'd be
And the
able
thing is, he's not
Actually,
like even like entertainingly over the top in a lot of things. Like he's not like a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger where you could just put him in a dumb movie and like that solves all your problems.
Yeah, honestly, because like a lot of bad movies he's in, he just kind of looks like he's sleepwalking through them. Like
he's just like
sometimes
if
doesn't
you
look
got
like
like
he
a
gives a shit.
screen grab, if you got like a screen grab of like what is it, Skyscraper, San Andreas, Rampage, you would probably struggle to tell the difference between any of those performances.
Exactly.
Pretty much. He plays the same character in every movie. Just like
And I've seen all those movies.
Give him a fucking like decent movie at least.
Yeah.
But Jason Statham is good in any role. I unironically love Jason Statham. Okay, maybe a bit.
Oh yeah.
Just,
He's so great. Like, plenty of good films he's been in. Like, he's been in some shit, but he's also been in plenty of good stuff.
And I'm willing to watch that shit. And I'm pretty sure any shit movie, I'm sure will be more entertaining just watching Jason Statham just kick somebody's ass. Because holy fuck,
boring. He's not just boring British, guy. He's actually like really talented.
The most entertaining action star I've seen in a while. Holy fuck, he knows what he's doing, and I will watch anything with him. I'll watch. What's the worst movie he's in? Fucking one of the Death Race movies.
He's been in a lot of like generic shitty movies, so you can probably just. I'll say.
Find something on Letterboxd.
Let's say In the Name of the King, a Dungeon Siege Tale, because that's directed by your boy Uwe Boll.
Oh, who blocked me? Wait, Jack, did you see that he blocked me? I swear to God,
I heard you saw. I heard you say that.
Depending on whether or not the Twitter account is actually him, but I mean, I'm assuming it's him. Is it really him?
I would not be surprised.
I would assume so. So yeah. Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
I'm surprised I haven't seen the Crank movies. Oh, I forgot he was in Collateral.
Oh yeah, he has like a cameo in Collateral.
Yeah, and he's in Snatch too. So he's worked with Guy Ritchie
Snatch is
a
great.
little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to see Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
He was in Romeo and Juliet.
What?
Actually,
Romeo and Juliet.
That movie's cast is insane. It also stars James McAvoy, Emily Blunt, Ozzy Osbourne, Michael Caine, and Hulk Hogan as a commercial narrator.
Stephen Merchant and Patrick Stewart, like my boys. What are you? Hulk Hogan.
Guys.
I just said that. Yeah, Chris. I almost said Chris O'Dowd, but
guys,
I wouldn't be surprised.
You know who else is involved in Romeo and Juliet?
Elton John, I know.
Yeah, I was about to say, Elton fucking John.
Okay, anyway, moving on. Cop Car, which is directed by John Watts, because right now for school, I'm doing like this little write-up about Spider-Man directors, specifically starting out on Sam Raimi and John Watts, and I haven't, before this, I'd only seen John Watts' Spider-Man films, but I want to also compare like their actual filmographies and inspirations as well. Cop Car is solid. I'd say that's like, it was kind of like a 5 or 6, but I think like the last act really kind of pulled it through, and it's a decent like kind of action, not really action.
How was my boy Kevin Bacon?
Kevin Bacon's good. He rocks that mustache and sunglass combination.
Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah. No, that's okay. And the kids, it's the two kids are actually really good in the film. And there's like a scene of there's like this chase in the last 5 minutes, which is almost so good that I kind of wish that was like the majority of the film because like that was like really well done. But aside from that, yeah, it kind of like starts off sort of high, then just really dips for a bit. Then there's a shootout at the end that's really well done, and it's a decent 6. I'd be fine to leave it at that. I also watched a film called The Clove Hitch Killer because this is a film I've been wanting to watch for a good while because your boys Mike and Jay from Red Letter Media talked high of it, and it's a really, really well done drama thriller. Like, what really holds it back is that it's really cheap, like digital release looking, and if it was a much better looking film, I would honestly say that it's pretty great. If I could compare it, imagine like a more low budget Zodiac or Prisoners.
Oh,
But everything else, it's really solid. Like the performances from Charlie Plummer and what's her name? Looking at her now, Madison Beatley, who coincidentally was also just in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, are really, really good. And Dylan McDormand, very, very good in the film without getting too much into it. Yeah, I mean, for what it is, really, really solid drama thriller. You also really, it's kind of keeps you on your toes. Like, all I'm going to say is this. It's a really good film that showcases how you can be absolutely sure of something. Without any reasonable doubt, you can be absolutely sure of something, and that just can be completely wrong, which is all I'm going to say about it. It's a really, really solid film. Definitely recommend watching it. Then I would say I finished watching the documentary Hoop Dreams. I was kind of watching that over the course of a couple classes, like within like 3 weeks, watching like 40 to hour long segments of it, and I did finish it this week. And a lot of it, I was watching it, and kind of like it was pretty good. But I think like overall, in the end, I would say it's like a really solid 8 for me because for what it is, even though like I don't care at all about sport, let alone basketball, I found it for what it is to be like a really human and understanding and inspirational documentary. Again, I don't think I would ever been able to watch it in one sitting. It's a near 3 hour long documentary, and I don't know, it's not necessarily the kind of stuff that I watch all the time, but for what it is, I would recommend people see it. Also, it's on YouTube if you care to see it. So it's a good film, though. It is very good.
Oh, it's on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck
you
yeah.
might,
Alright.
though, if you're in the US, you might have to whatchamacallit. It's kind of a region locked in some places. So
wait, I can't find
or something.
I can't find it. Fuck.
If you
Shit,
put on
what
your
was this
VPN to Australia, then you can watch it.
A lot of Criterion films are on YouTube, actually.
Brief Encounter.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I did watch Brief Encounter a little bit ago as well. That was really good. I finished watching Jackie Brown because I wanted to kind of see another one of Tarantino's films because I was about to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood the next day. I watched this over 2 nights with my mother, and I would say this is a good film, and I liked a lot about it. But the thing is, with Jackie Brown, I kind of realized my problem that I had for the most part with Tarantino. For one, I'm not like the massive Tarantino fan. I like him. I think he's a good filmmaker. I haven't seen all of his stuff. I still have only seen now, like really only half of his movies. But Jackie Brown it's weird because there's so many pieces that are perfectly in place. And yet I've struggled really to really care a lot about that film. The performances are all fantastic. Like everybody's excellent in that movie. And it looks so good. Like how it's shot and framed to look like the blaxploitation films of the 70s is all just excellently well done. Sam Jackson is great. Michael Keaton's awesome. Pam Grier.
De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Yeah, De Niro holds the same exact face throughout the entire film. Robert Forster, I believe he was actually nominated for that film. I don't know if he won. He was great in it.
Yeah, he didn't win, but he was nominated.
The only
The
only thing I know Robert Forster for is one episode of Eric Andre.
I know him best from The Black Hole.
Oh.
God, Jeff, you always talk about that movie.
He was in it though.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. It is a well done film, and I feel like in a couple of years, maybe when I'm a little older, a little wiser, if I go back to rewatch this film, I think I'll have a bit more enjoyment for it. As it is a good film, and I do recommend it. I don't know. It felt like I don't know what it is. I feel like in all intents and purposes, I should love the film, but it just something about it just didn't hold all together for me. But it is obviously well done. And the next night, with all my friends, I watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And at first, I was a little iffy about it, and then after that, I love this. This is easily one of my absolute favorite movies of the year, and I already like am kind of itching to go see it again, which is an old thing I would say about a lot of movies that are near 3 hours long. But this is one of the best films of the year, obviously. The performances are all fantastic. I was a little worried about Leonardo DiCaprio, especially like in the first couple minutes. I was honestly scared in that opening just before like the title card, because I was thinking I found his performance to be a little, and like his voice to be like really distracting and a little unbelievable. But like past the title card, I just completely got into it, and I found his performance to go from, passable to, honestly, I loved Leonardo DiCaprio in this film by the end of it. I think he's excellent in the film. I love Rick Dalton. I love Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth. Cliff Booth, that's his name. He's so good. I am an absolute slut for a 70s aesthetic, especially a 70s Hollywood aesthetic. I love all that shit.
Yeah.
This is... It's just filled with so many like fantastic scenes, and also this runtime. This is again 2 hours and 40 minutes. When this film ended, I was honestly expecting it to go on for far longer. I was actually like when it was wrapping up, I was thinking it was one of the first times in a good while where I was actually like, please don't end now, please don't end. But of course it ended, because that was nearly 3 hours, and it just brushed past. Like I know. Again, by the end, I felt like it didn't even feel like 2 hours to me. It was so like watchable and fun. And, oh man, I just want to go see it again. I want to watch it right now. I want to watch it. It's so good. Yeah, I don't really have so much. I feel bad because I don't know what else to say about it, except that I just found it extremely entertaining, funny. Performances are excellent. I assume it's going to win awards. Probably, I think. I'm not really objectifying against any nominations. I think this is one of the best films of the year. Maybe, but I don't want to just jinx myself on it, but might be a 10 out of 10. Or sorry, not a 10, a 9 on next watch. But who knows?
Same. I kind of feel that way too. Like I think it might go up on my second watch. We'll see though.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
What did you with that? Because I missed you guys before. Do you want to? What did you briefly think about it?
I thought it was a really great and
Really
fun,
really
well put together
solid
movie that did everything it needed to. Flew
More
by
or less,
quickly.
yeah.
All the characters were insanely well written. All the performances were awesome. Yeah.
Basically what Brian thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have to say about it. It's pretty much just you already know it's good.
Yesterday I watched Parasite. Don't
say anything about it.
Amazing.
Not gonna say anything about it.
Amazing movie.
Amazing film.
Anything about it.
Don't say anything about it. Don't
Spoil
say
it.
anything
I'm
about
not. Don't worry. I'm not going to get into any like real details. All I will say is that I think it's a film that I feel like I almost loved it. There's scenes in it that I do love. There's great stuff in it. Performances are excellent. I think the soundtrack is one of the best of the year. Bong Joon-ho, again, is one of my favorite foreign directors. And I wanted to watch Memories of a Murder before seeing it, but I just never got around to it. But I do really still need to see it. Yeah, I need to see more of his foreign language stuff, because I've only seen, aside from Parasite, the only other one I've seen is The Host. And a lot of his other ones sound really interesting, including Mother of Tokyo, Barking Dogs Never Bite.
What about Snowpiercer and Okja?
Well, those aren't foreign movies.
Well, no, I meant like you also see those, right?
I really I liked Okja quite a bit. Snowpiercer is my favorite film of his currently. I really love Snowpiercer. I've got a Snowpiercer poster that hangs above my bed.
Oh,
Nice.
Yes.
Thanks.
You go to sleep with Chris Evans hanging above you and his old looking beard.
All right.
Yep.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
Yeah. Then I rewatched Jurassic Park last night, and just because I was like, I just need something good. I need something good. And yeah, it's Jurassic Park. What do you want me to say? It's still so good. The thing is, it's one of those cases where it's like, yes, there are, technically speaking, it does have like nitpicky problems about it. But at the same time, I still find it, like, for what it is, relatively perfect, because it succeeds in trying to do everything it comes out it tries to do.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I've only realized now that literally every line that Jeff Goldblum says in this movie is like, is there any line that he says in this movie that isn't like really famous or like really iconic?
Yeah.
'Cause, like,
you're right.
yeah, it's like, oh my god, everything he says in that movie is like some sort of like famous moment or line. Like, I love him in that film.
I love him so much in general.
I think he might like.
Yeah,
I think
Jeff
that's like
Goldblum is
really.
Yeah, he's a
awesome.
legend.
Jeff Goldblum's the G. He's such a
Mhm.
G.
I love him
Mhm.
so fucking much.
Exactly.
Yep.
I want him to narrate the documentary based on my life, which will be like 5 minutes
Oh,
long.
that
'Cause
would
my-
be
Yes.
good.
Which will be like 5 minutes long because my life
So,
is not that
this
interesting.
guy Brian, he was once born, and he likes movies. Yeah. So yeah, that's Brian theory.
Pretty good.
That's Brian.
Thank you so much. Actually, me and Jeff. Here's the thing. One thing about Jeff Goldblum, I'm glad that I love him so much, is because like here in like I'm very very close to. Well, I'm in the Pittsburgh area, and I'm pretty close to Pittsburgh, so like he's like an icon here, pretty much. Like in Pittsburgh last year, they actually had a Jeff Goldblum related festival. I shit you not.
Damn,
I gotta
that's
come
so
down
cool.
to Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
Are they doing
Come down
another
here.
one?
We'll go. Oh, I think they are. I think that was announced. Like it was last year. It was like during the summer that was announced, and I don't know if they're doing another one,
Cool.
but I hope they are because I missed out on it last year. I want to fucking go over there. Well, he isn't as much of an icon over here as Mr. Rogers, but like over here we have a lot of
Mhm.
famous people from here, like Will Smith and sadly Bill Cosby.
In
So-
West Philadelphia,
Yeah.
born and raised.
which that's sad. But yeah,
There's
pretty
a lot
much.
of people. There's a lot of famous people that came down here from Victoria and Melbourne as well. So
Oh, really? Like Nicole Kidman,
yeah,
right?
I believe Nicole.
Nicole
and
Kidman
Gloria
lives in
Rice.
Nashville. Nicole Kidman
Yeah, but,
lives
like-
in Nashville. Yay.
Oh wait, really? Oh, go
Yeah.
go meet her. Go meet her.
I want to.
But
Dude, just go down there and say, "What's
know
up?"
Angori Rice.
Yeah,
Yeah, Angori Rice. Yeah, she's from here,
yeah.
and
Wait.
also she's related to one of my teachers at my school.
That's
Oh.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome. Also,
Yeah.
Jack, didn't you say you had some kind of I don't know about relation, but like some kind of like involvement with Adam Elliott? Did you say like when your parents met him or something?
Oh, yeah, Adam Elliott. So my mom has a friend. It's kind of two things. My mom has met him, and my mom also has a really close friend that worked with him,
Ooh,
Cool.
which
that's
is really
fucking
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
And
Adam
that's
Elliott's
like-
awesome.
Imagine the director of like your favorite movie of all time being like that, like you are. How do I say this? Like your mom has met the director of your favorite movie of all time. That's like if my mom met Terrence.
That would be
Malick.
so fucking cool.
But
Or
well, I mean,
my-
oh, Jack, I know you don't have a favorite movie, but Mary Max seems to be like one of them, assuming, right?
Oh, Mary Max is that'd be like that'd be up there for me. Mary
Yeah.
Max is so good. I love Mary Max.
I know, I love it too. It was, I remember I watched it like a year ago, and it was very good. It's a movie I recommend to people, especially because like I think it's very underseen, and I think it's a very unique.
It's
type
like
anime
one of
movie
the,
that, like,
at
no
least
one's
one of
seen.
the top 5 stop motion movies.
I need to watch it again. So, yeah.
And then today I just finished watching The Beach Bum, which
Mhm.
it's probably my
Nice.
least favorite Harmony Korean film.
Mhm.
Obviously, it looks really nice. McConaughey's great in it. I won't deny he's not great in that movie. Ela Fisher's good. I was surprised that I was not really bothered by Jonah Hill. I was really because like everyone was talking about how bad he was, and I guess
okay,
he was fine. I
I
wasn't
never,
bothered by
I
him
never
much.
paid attention to him.
Well, he was the worst actor in the movie. That's just because his accent was like so off. But like, I can understand he's not in the movie for that long. Even what'd you think? I'm curious what you think of all the
Right.
other performances as well. I'm curious what you think of everyone else in the movie. Did you?
My issue with the film, I would say this: my issue with the film does not rely on the performances. I'd say everybody's like
I know,
good.
but like
Zac Efron was good. I liked him. Snoop Dogg,
Mhm.
he's good.
he's fucking
Martin
Snoop
Lawrence
Dogg.
shows up for a bit.
hmm
Yeah, it's just that I felt like a lot of it just like I weirdly, despite the fact that like I feel like I should have been really invested. After a while, I just kind of felt pretty bored. I found a lot of it just kind of just repetitive and like. I think of this, the idea of the story could work really well because I really like stories, even if they're just like people randomly just walking around and talking and having these random occurrences. I love that stuff. Like Jim Jarmusch is the freaking king of this.
I know. Holy shit.
Like his first ever film, Permanent Vacation, is literally just this guy walking around like I think it's New York City or something, just the desolate places and just talking with random weird people. And
Jack,
I think that could work really well, but I don't know. I just found it kind of uninteresting and
I,
honestly a little unfunny after a while.
I actually can understand where you're coming from because the story is kind of repetitive, and the thing is, there's pretty much no plot. It's pretty much just Matthew McConaughey running around getting high for 90 minutes. And so with that kind of thing, especially with how it's done in the movie, it's really kind of a case of if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, then you're just not. It's really just depends. It's not for everyone, and I respect anyone who isn't. Like, I understand you're not the biggest Corinne fan, and I completely respect that. So,
Yeah.
I always respect your pains, my boy.
I will say this: the cat was really cute. There's a really cute cat in the movie.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, hell yeah. I'm not even a cat person. That cat was nice.
Also, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. This is completely off topic. I have a cat that was given to me by my sister, and his name is Jonesy, and he's named after the cat from Alien. I just thought I'd mention that for no reason.
Oh.
That's fucking epic. Holy shit.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cute.
it's not. I don't know what kind of breed it is. It's not orange like the one in the movie, but yeah, no related. I just wanted to mention that.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm off.
Okay, see you, my boy.
All right.
See you around.
Good night, Jack.
Take care.
Nighty night.
Good
Bye.
night.
Oh, I didn't. Sorry, I'll quickly mention this before I go. I'm gonna have some lunch, and then I'm gonna be heading out to see The Farewell because we've got an advanced screening
Have fun.
where there'll be a Q&A with director Lulu Wang.
That is fucking
lucky.
awesome.
Nice.
I'm
Yes,
really
so
excited.
lucky.
Have fun. Have fun, my
All
boy.
right. Adios.
All
Nice.
right.
Yeah. Can I just go super quick so then I can go to bed?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It's just gonna be super quick. I'm not gonna do anything crazy like
Go
Jack,
ahead, go
but
ahead.
yeah, I'm just
sorry.
gonna
Oh.
I was just gonna do some films that I saw, like not like since the beginning of August, but just I guess like my top 5 that I saw for like the past couple of weeks.
Oh, that's a good
To be
idea.
quick and simple. So I saw obviously Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which we talked about that one earlier. Parasite. I'm just gonna name them. Parasite, and then I started watching Rebecca, which was the Alfred Hitchcock film. I don't know if you guys seen that yet.
I haven't yet, but I know about it,
I
of
haven't
course.
seen it yet.
I
Isn't
really
that-
want to
Yeah,
watch it.
if you
Yeah.
want to, definitely a good film to invest your time in. I just started watching some classics, so that's what's been on my watch list. And then All About Eve,
Yes.
especially with
Yes.
the news the same day that it was announced, so I decided to watch it on that day, coincidentally, on the 15th. And then Sunset Boulevard.
Yes, one of my favorites of all time.
Nice
Uh,
classic.
Yep. And I'm just gonna do like I also saw The Last Black Man in San Francisco. Incredible film, incredible movie. Everyone should watch it. Easily
Gonna
one of the
Soon.
most underrated A24 films
It's so
released this year. Just saying. Yes, and then I saw Thelma today as well. So just
Got
kind
them
of been
fire.
mixed matching.
I watched his film Louder Than Bombs, which I thought was really, really great. So hopefully I'll like Thelma almost as much.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, just sweet and simple to the point with that, and then I'll get off because I'm going to bed. I'm so tired.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, good night, Steph. Nice
Good night.
to have you
Good
on.
night.
Yeah, great.
Yeah,
Great
thanks for
me
having
on.
me.
Anytime.
Yeah, thanks. Even though I didn't really talk too much, but thank you.
I'm sorry if we got like a little bit too crazy in here, but
No, not a problem. It's interesting to see how you guys like all interact and just have your little inside jokes. Great.
Okay.
Yeah, we have fun.
Well, thanks for
All right.
having me.
Anytime.
No problem.
Feel free to come back.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I guess I'll go. I'm
Sure.
going since the recording of the last podcast, first time watches only. Death Proof. It was the only Tarantino movie I hadn't seen. It's good. It's not as good as any of his other movies. It's definitely my least favorite of his, but it's good. And then Brian's gonna like this next one. I watched Walk Hard, which is really good. My only real issue, it's a little repetitive.
I can see that probably.
It is very repetitive, but the music is fantastic. It's genuinely great, and it's really funny. John C. Reilly is great. New Mutants. No, I'm just kidding. My New Mutants log is just a link to My Black Sun, the Family Guy thing.
Oh, good lord.
Hobbs and Shaw. I watched that while I was high as fuck, and it was still extremely boring.
Damn.
If you're watching a movie when you're high as all hell,
ouch,
and it's still boring, you have done something terribly, terribly wrong. I don't know. It's not terrible. Then I saw Real Women Have Curves, which is a film that people have accused Lady Bird of ripping off. And now that I've seen it, they're somewhat similar, but Lady Bird is not a ripoff. at all. I mean, yeah, they have some similarities, but there's some very clear differences, especially if you know Lady Bird pretty well, and I've seen it a lot. Met far too many times probably. And then a few days later, I watched All the President's Men, which is fantastic. It is a very sharply written, really greatly acted movie, and it is a very striking testament of how dangerous it is to investigate someone as high as the president, as powerful as the president of the United States. You know, during the Richard Nixon Watergate era, and it's way better than The Post. Then I saw The Kitchen, which was very disappointing.
Glad to hear.
Yeah, honestly, Melissa McCarthy and Tiffany Haddish, they are really not that great. Elizabeth Moss is the only person who's actually doing like a genuinely good job, and there's some competent shots in it, but it's a really, really boring movie, and the characters are just not good. There's just nothing that happens in the movie.
It stars a Scientologist, so of course it's fucking bad.
Yeah, it's already so. Okay, then there's The Farewell. We've talked about that already. Then I watched The Souvenir, which people have been raving about. I don't get the praise very much. It was very, very hollow. I didn't feel for any of the characters. I wasn't invested in the story at all. The main actress her face, something about her face just reminded me too much of Greta Gerwig. I don't know why.
Isn't she Tilda Swinton's daughter? Yeah, she is.
I think the director's Tilda Swinton's daughter. I don't know about the actress.
No. The main actress is Tilda Swinton's daughter.
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, she just kind of looks like Greta Gerwig. I don't know why. But, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, the performances are good. It's well acted, but it's so boring. And it's hollow. Nothing much really happens in it. Then I saw Felix the Cat the movie, which Katie.
Oh.
It was just a mess. I don't even want to.
Best movie ever.
Then I saw Network, a genuine masterpiece, and I've only seen it a few days ago. I just kept thinking about it. It's better than All the President's Men. I think it might be in my top 10 of all time, actually, at this point, because
I am a human being. God damn it, my life has value.
Yes, that line. It is so good. It's so impactful. It shows how dangerous it is to actually tell the truth on television. So, just as an example, when Phil Donahue and Jesse Ventura were reporters for MSNBC, and they decided to say, hey, the Iraq war is actually really shitty, they fired them. They got fired because it didn't align with the company's views. And that's not exactly what happens at the end of Network, but it's basically like an allegory for what happens in television news. And it is scary. And not to get too political, but it's kind of, in many ways, what's happening now. It started in it's not even Trump. Obama did the same thing. He targeted whistleblowers. And so did W. Bush, and even Bill Clinton was suppressing people who were trying to report on the Monica Lewinsky scandal. So it's really terrifying in a sense.
I'll just be glad we never ever have to deal with Bill Clinton again. I hate that fucker with every fiber of my being. And
I hate both him and Hillary.
And now that, he's not president anymore, I can say I hope he turns up dead tomorrow and not have to worry about my safety. Should we cut that part out? Actually, you know what? Fuck you, Bill Clinton. We're keeping that part in.
Okay, Jeff, can you keep this part in too? The Clintons killed Jeffrey Epstein. They killed Jeffrey Epstein. I am convinced. Okay? I don't care if I got all Alex Jones at this point. I am convinced that they killed Epstein. Anyway. Yeah, Network is it's extremely well written. All the performances are great. Peter Finch, Faye Dunaway. Oh my god. It's such an amazing movie. I know it's in my top 10 of all time, but Taxi Driver I think is still the better movie. But it's this movie is just amazing. It's insane. And then I saw Haunting of Sharon Tate, which had it convinced
what a dip. What a dip.
It has me convinced that Zendaya is the only Disney Channel actress who has legitimate acting talent.
It has you convinced that Zendaya is Michi?
Shut up.
No.
Bella Thorne cannot act. She was in that shitty Lifetime original Perfect High movie that I watched and live tweeted and it was so bad. And here's Hilary Duff, who's acting like she's in a porno, and it's genuinely offensive. The color palette is ugly. The editing is Bohemian Rhapsody levels of bad.
Oh no! Oh no!
It is awful. I just don't even like. This is one of the few movies that actually fucking offends me. It is actually offensive. If you want to watch it, take some Benadryl because you'll want to fall asleep.
Actually, just take some rat poison because you'll probably want to fucking die.
Yeah, no, snort anthrax.
Or be gay in Iran.
Yeah.
Let Opal sit on your face.
Then I watched a comedy special, Dave Chappelle, The Bird Revelation. Dave Chappelle is awesome. I love him. He's probably my favorite comedian. Sorry, Bo Burnham, but he's so awesome. Chappelle Show is still like one of the best television shows ever. You know, like I miss the days of Tyrone Biggums and Rick James, Clayton Bigsby. They're so good. But this is great too. Then I watched Uglydolls. I'm not gonna get into that again. And then in memory of Peter Fonda, RIP, I watched Easy Rider, which was pretty good. You know, really solid. My boy Jack Nicholson is in it. There wasn't really much of a plot. There wasn't really much of a story. It was just kind of these guys running around. And the movie was still decent, but it's like, it was just kind of them meandering. And nothing really happened until halfway through the movie and then the end of the movie. So, you know, and I respect the movie for how it's impacted cinema. It's well made, very well acted. It's just, I guess it's just not really, I guess it's just kind of dated or something.
So, now that that's out of the way, let me get with my first 10 watches and we can finally go to sleep. I'm going to go for my watch the last podcast because for some reason I've been slacking with some of my watches. So, I think the last watch that I talked about was the Art of Self-Defense in the last podcast, which, did I? Okay, I know I talked about Ghost Dog. Wait, shit. Wait. Yeah,
you talked about
Oh yeah, I did talk about Art. Okay, so from there, I watched Hugo, which is so fucking awesome. Oh my god, I loved it. It's so like it has some of the kids movie cliches in it, which is probably the reason why I didn't give it higher than 8. But god, it is like possibly like the best possible movie could have made about what makes filmmaking so great. It's so beautiful, so well done, and god, it is probably Martin Scorsese's most underrated movie. And I'm surprised that was direct. I was surprised that it was directed by him, but in the directing you could probably tell because god, it's so well directed. Next up, we got Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which I already watched. Yeah, of course I watched, but we already talked about it, is what I was trying to say. Next up, I watched Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. I'm trying to finish up the Harry Potter series, and the Order of the Phoenix is actually surprisingly my second favorite behind Prisoner of Azkaban. I thought Order of the Phoenix was actually pretty underrated. Next up was Half-Blood Prince, which I thought was pretty good. It was a 6 for probably a 6 out of 10, a very positive 6 out of 10 for most of it. And then those last 15 minutes were so good it made me want to bump it up. So, but it's pretty solid. It's probably maybe of the bottom tier. Next up, I watched the Holy Grail of cinema, Gummo, and I mean that unironically. It is so fucking good, but not for everyone. Next up, I watched The Farewell. We already talked enough about that. And then I legit started this movie fucking 2 months ago. I shit you not. And I didn't finish it until a week ago. That was Across the Universe, which, hot take, I didn't like that much. I wanted to love it. I really wanted to, because I adore the concept. I absolutely adore the concept. I know here's the thing. I understand everything it's going for, and I love everything it's going for. The main issue with why it didn't work for me was that it was a movie that took the Beatles music and made a love story, and I didn't care about the love story. I legit did not care about a single character in this movie. And with the movie that basically...
That makes sense.
I don't know, it's just... Maybe that's the intention, which probably is, but God, I did not care about a single character in this whole movie. They're all one note. There's nothing really... Well, I mean, there's stuff to them, but I don't know, and it feels a lot more unique of a Beatles movie than Yesterday was, which I know sounds like an unfair comparison, but they're both trying to honor the Beatles, and this movie at least feels like it was made by someone who is a Beatles fan, and I respect it. I completely respect it. If you are one of the people who absolutely adore this movie, it's one of your favorites, I completely understand. I genuinely wish I could be one of you, but God, I was genuinely bored. But the musical sequences are great. It's a very beautiful movie, and the weirdness of it's very unique, and I appreciate for being able to be unique and still be able to just be put out there. So yeah, and Julie Taymor has a lot of vision, and I'm excited to check out her other works. But overall, it didn't work for me. Maybe on a rewatch, I might like it a lot more, but who knows? Next up, I watched a short documentary about the 6 Days to Air, which is about the making of South Park. And God, this is probably one of the finest docs I've seen in a while. I love this doc so much in a lot of ways. I mean, it's probably maybe not objectively perfect doc, but it's so fascinating, really. Just see what the makers of South Park go through when they're making this, and like they go through this huge process, and they do this. This is basically how they show doing it for one episode. So they've done this so many times, and it's so fascinating to look through. And oh my God, there's so much that they show, and it just really shows like what South Park as a show means and what you can get away with. And yeah, it's just a really interesting doc. I highly recommend it. Next up, I watched Bag Boy, which is a Tim and Eric special with Steve Brule, which was really, really funny in my opinion. I didn't see much of Tim and Eric, but that was pretty funny. Next up, I watched, because my friend wanted to, Descendants 3, which was bad, but R.I.P. Cameron Boyce. And after that, I watched, probably tied with my favorite movie of the year so far with Rocket Man. That is Parasite. Parasite is amazing.
Don't say nothing about it.
I won't. I'll go into detail later on, so I don't want to say anything about it since George is here. But let me just say, holy fuck, it is incredible. Like, this is tied with Rocket Man. And Rocket Man's currently still number one just because it's sat me longer, but it might go to Parasite. But who knows? But I love Parasite. And yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty. Well.
Now we can finally go to fucking sleep.
All right, so thank you all for listening to us ramble on about bullshit. Mm-hmm. So please like and subscribe and comment. Follow us on Twitter and Letterboxd, and stay beautiful.
Medias. Please follow us on social medias. We give us support. Follow us on Twitter, Letterboxd, or any other social media, Pornhub. And you can see some really nice live cam shows on there.
I actually have a Pornhub account, and I have 2 videos on there.
Jeff, I dare you to link George's Pornhub account in the description. So yeah, thank you so much for listening and giving us support and putting up with our bullshit, and you know, because it really matters, because we love doing this. It's a lot of fun, and yeah, thank you so much for listening.